I love to see the towns passing by and to ride these rails neath God's blue sky. Let me travel this land from the mountains to the sea, 'cause that's the life I believe He meant for me. And when I'm gone and at my grave you stand, say God called home your rambling man.
Welcome to Ramblin' Man Podcast episode number 143. This one's with Drew Ellis. We talk about her pathway to art and how she kind of practices that. Practice? Is that the correct term? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it's great to talk to Drew. She was a lot of fun. She's a professional, which you hear in the beginning. And we kind of went on for a bit. So it was a great talk. If you'd like to find out more about Drew, you can find her on Instagram and TikTok at dbopdew_art. DBOPDEW_art. Like I said, it's on Instagram and TikTok. You can find some more links for other platforms there. But I appreciate Drew for being on. Make sure you follow her on the socials. Sponsor this week is Feral Giant. Feral Giant is a graphic design, illustration, and social media consultation company based here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So they do work for clients big and small all over the country, all over the globe, in fact. But they also do photography, videography, video editing, and audio editing, website design, SEO, writing, content development. Hell, they'll babysit your kids if it nets them money. So make sure you give them a follow on social media on either Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn at Feral Giant. And be sure to give them an email today and hire them for your next project. Without much further ado, here's the episode.
I've done this before.
Okay. Well, set your expectations a lot lower.
Oh, you're...
So,
no.
Okay. I'm recording now.
Okay.
Okay, fuck. I haven't done...
And I say my name?
Oh, yeah, say your name.
All right, say and spell my last name. Drew Ellis. DREWELLIS.
Pro.
Yay. My age, 29.
Oh, my God. No.
My title? I don't know.
What is it? I don't know any of the zodiac stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My so-and-so rising is this, and my...
Yeah.
I don't know. I know I'm a Scorpio. That's all I know.
There you go. I know I'm an Aquarius.
There you go.
I've made it my personality now. I see people with a similar birthday to mine. I'm like, oh, you're an Aquarius. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, great.
Cool. And then just walk away.
And then, yeah, I go make their drink or something.
Yeah.
That's the only time I can get their ID, so.
Oh, yeah. Didn't think about
See
that.
their birthday
Yeah.
and their address and everything.
Yeah. Wait, I might have to cut all this out. This is creepy. No, I'm just kidding.
They're fine.
They're fine. They'll be all right.
I don't remember anything, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have so many friends that are like, well, no, you know, when you go to the gas pump, you need to cover the screen or cover the keypad because you're putting that in. I was like,
no.
You also hand your credit card to random strangers. That
you know you have your phone programmed with all your credit card information on each app. So, like, any time that's available just to the
Yeah, you got
everyone.
your Bluetooth turned on.
Yeah, anybody can hack in and be like, oh, there you go.
Oh, my God. But no, yes, please keep covering at the gas pump.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Thank God I don't get gas.
Oh.
I make my husband do it.
Oh, my God. Well, I drive that little car, so I get gas like once every 6 weeks.
Oh, nice.
For that car, yeah.
I don't have to drive too far, thankfully.
Well,
everywhere in Knoxville is kind of like here.
Yeah.
In a close proximity.
Okay, so I'm not going to say where.
That's fine.
But in the proximity where you live, do you ride a bicycle?
I could ride a bicycle.
Yeah.
I choose not to, only because there's lots of hills.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to die sweating, going into work, trying to get in up a hill. And I'm like, okay, here we are.
I was going to say,
start my day.
Everybody is like, well, once it stops being cold, you can ride your bike. It's like, no, starting in like late May to middle September, you're going to die.
It's sweat season. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take a shower in the morning and then be covered in sweat after I get out of the shower going on this bicycle. No. I know it's good for the environment, but there's a lot of people that like park on the side, like where the bike lanes are anyways. And
really?
I know I'll get anxious, so.
Oh. See, I am, like I said, off mic, shorts in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So I'll take a shower, and then I'll step outside in the summertime. I was like, why did I even take a shower?
Yeah, there's no reason. It's so humid.
There's absolutely no point in doing any of this.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be a weird transition. So are you originally from here? Or
No.
Where were you originally from?
I was born in Las Vegas. I lived there for 10 years. And then my parents were like, oh, it's expensive. We're going to move to Sweetwater, Tennessee.
Oh, God.
So they moved to Sweetwater, Tennessee. And then we lived in this tiny little house. It was like just a normal house in Sweetwater, Tennessee.
That's a strong culture shock.
I just went back to Vegas recently, and I looked at like the old house I used to live in before I moved to Sweetwater, and I was like, wow, I thought I was like spoiled. I was like, man, I must be like a spoiled kid coming to this new place in Tennessee. And then I was like, nah, it sucked. That house was so gross. Sorry, Grandma. I know you're renovating it right now, but
in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. The one in Sweetwater. The Vegas one I look back at, and I'm like, well, it was okay.
Okay.
It smelled better inside.
I don't know. There's just a grandmother smell that is universal.
Yeah, my great-grandparents lived there, and my great-mama passed away in that house, and then she apparently had a dog.
I think we figured out the smell.
Yes.
Did they remove the bottom?
Yeah, I think they did.
Sorry.
I wasn't looking too hard, but I think they did.
It's getting dark very quick. We're not even at 5 minutes. It's already
whoopsies.
Okay, Vegas. So how old were you when they moved?
I was 10. So I was from 3rd to 4th grade. And then I went
to Vegas.
Yeah.
I got a couple friends that live out there, and they're eccentric characters.
Yep.
Well, one of them is.
It makes sense.
He's a dude, and he... God love you, man. I hope you are not listening to this. You can tell he's from Vegas. Like, he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like the very bright shirts unbuttoned down to here.
Oh, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. Crazy, not sliding tattoos, but just like the tattoos he have are so wild and weird and seem very, not sliding them. It's just like, I'm saying like Sailor Jerry type tattoo.
Oh.
That's what I mean.
I gotcha. Okay, so he's like the New Jersey of the West, kind of. Like,
if he's not, hold on, I got to text him.
Oh, sorry.
He will be. I'm going to update him in my contacts to New Jersey of the West. That's amazing. And then there
were a lot of people, like they're from New Jersey, but they're in Vegas.
Oh,
just completely different accents, but like the shirts and the tan and they went to the gym a lot, I could tell.
GTL.
Yep.
I have never watched a minute of that show, but I know what the hell GTL is.
All that matters, honestly.
Okay.
Don't have to watch any of the show.
And the other person I know is hilarious. She was the, what do you call it, costumer for shoot the big one, the acrobatics,
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was one of the costumers for it, and she also does like, it's not cosplay, but she wears corsets and she dresses up and
LARP.
No. She looks like somebody from the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Like bouffants and shit.
She's just doing the dress ups.
Yeah, she does the dress ups and stuff. And God love her, because I know she'll never listen to this. She posts pictures with like, this is something I can't get in my head. Understand? With like pasties.
Oh.
And that's it. And then she and I were talking. I was like, yeah, I need to have you on. I had a radio show during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, I need to have you on the radio show so you can talk about music and stuff. She's like, oh, no, I can't do that. I can't be recorded. That's too embarrassing.
How's that?
I was like, your boobs are on Instagram.
You're fine.
And I said that to our mutual friend, and my friend was like, you're an asshole. I was like, okay, apparently I'm an asshole. I was like, because I could never imagine. I could never imagine.
That's a pretty vulnerable state to put yourself in. So I feel like maybe she's just very scared of Her voice?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Super,
That's interesting.
Super sweet, nicest person in the world, but it was just like, huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's very interesting.
That's a weird. Okay. Okay. I'm just here to support. I'm not here to understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the only two people. So there's my dynamic of Vegas. That's
There
all
you
I know.
go.
Now I have a third.
Yeah.
But, by the way, it's Sweetwater.
Yeah,
God,
a little Sweetwater.
Can I let this go? So 29.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So 19 years ago. Okay. So it was starting to.
Oh, God. That's a long. Yeah.
Starting to change up. Come on now.
I know.
I was already graduated high school 19 years ago.
God.
Like,
Yeah, I don't want to think about the concept of time.
I was like 11 years into graphic design.
Oh,
19
God.
years ago. Like, yeah. So there's a friends of mine who, oh God, you're going to love this. Friends of mine who live in Madisonville.
Okay. I might know them.
Okay. No, they were gone.
Oh, just kidding then.
Yeah. Your parents may know another friend's dad because he was the sheriff.
No,
at
they
one
wouldn't.
point. No. Okay.
They didn't like the police.
Oh, he
For reasons.
on the flip side, this guy was their dad was the nicest guy in the world,
Okay.
and so the two sons that one of them sadly has passed away too, and that no, his dad when he was sheriff, I think in like the 70s or early 80s, he was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Like he was actually a good dude, and the one son that's still alive, Charlie, is the sweetest guy in the world. Like that's what I mean is I know them. I'm like, oh no, they were super like good.
It's
good
different.
People. Yeah, something must have changed or whatever. But anyway, a friend living in Madisonville. This is going to get very dark very quick.
Okay, sounds great. That didn't happen already, so.
And I can never remember the name of the town that's next to Sweetwater.
Tellico. Tellico Plains or.
Yeah, Tellico.
Yeah.
So
it's like Spring City.
When my buddy was growing up in Madisonville, so I met him in college and he told me the story about, he's like, oh yeah, when I was young, Tellico, if you were not white, you did not go into Tellico. He was like, hell, if you weren't from there, you didn't go into Tellico. And this is before they start building the fancy houses on the river.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
He was like, and then Sweetwater actually had black people.
Yep.
And he was like, there were a couple of black guys that went from Sweetwater to Tellico, and he was like, and they never found the bodies. And he was like, and one of my cousins is still in prison because of that.
Oh my God.
And it was just like, Jesus, dude. Like he's telling me this. I'm like, I don't want to be down here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be down here, dude. I was like, I'm from East Knoxville. I don't want to be down here. Like, so, but the flip side, the part that I love telling people, especially who are not from here. Then the white girls from Tellico started going to Sweetwater and hooking up with the black dudes in Sweetwater. And then they had mixed race kids. And then those grandparents in Tellico had to deal with that shit.
Yep.
And that's what changed a lot of stuff down there.
That makes sense.
And so I went to one of the guys I had on, his shop is in Tellico Plains. He's it's not arborist. He's the one have you ever seen Beetlejuice? Or not Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands.
Yes.
So Topiary.
Okay.
Topiary Joe is his name. So he's done like Disneyland, Disney World. He started out the podcast with, oh yeah, there's this time I was in London and I backed up and I accidentally stepped on Prince Charles's foot.
Oh.
And then after that, I went over and smoked weed with Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones. I was like, who the fuck are you?
Wow.
What is happening?
That's too cool. Sorry. Nothing to compare.
A friend of mine introduced me to him, and I went and interviewed him. He's got a big chair in his front. But anyway, anytime I think of Sweetwater and Tellico, or anytime I think of Sweetwater or Tellico, I always think of that story.
Yeah.
About all of a sudden the grandparents having to deal with shit. Because it's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's your grandbabies.
It makes a lot of sense because I know when I moved from Vegas to Sweetwater, I didn't realize like what segregation was or anything like that. Yeah. And so when I moved, I was like, why are there's so many white people? Yeah. I was like, there's not anybody else. There's no variety here.
So that was the funny part. My buddy who's from Madisonville, maybe he will listen to this. Shout out to Greg. But he and I would talk. And he's like, we had like 3 black people at Madisonville High School. I was like,
my God.
Cool. I was like, you could count them. I went to Fulton.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh God, it's so different. So I rode on a school bus that was predominantly the black neighborhood when I was
Yeah.
in Sweetwater. So everybody would call me a cracker. I didn't know what that was, and so even I just didn't understand like at the time like why they were so mean sometimes and mean to me. And I was like that I guess I understand now looking back at it. I'm like, well, most of the white people in Sweetwater kind of suck. So
Yeah.
I kind of get it now. I'm like, oh, that's why I got picked on so much on the school bus.
See, that's weird because so I grew up on the east side.
Mm-hmm.
I would be sometimes one of the only white kids in the entire gym.
Yeah.
We're only white people in
Yeah.
there. Like at Eastside Y or Cal Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I never got called cracker or honky or any of that stuff.
It only happened in Sweetwater for me, but I think because everybody was kind of a child, and I think a lot of what they hear from their parents is stuff that you say back out loud
like
again.
you say, it's the white people down there.
They're
Negative,
awful.
yeah.
They will fight, and it was super weird. I was like, this is not real. This can't
Yeah.
be real. My mom came to lunch with me one time because she could just come
Yeah.
eat lunch with me as a kid. She's like, why is everybody sitting at separate tables? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
On the flip side, my experience was there was one buddy of mine, D, that he one time came into class and we were really close, and he just all of a sudden started laying into me, and he started calling me the worst black epithets.
Yeah.
He was calling. He's like, "Listen, you," and I'm not going to repeat anything
That's
that he
fine.
said, but he was acting like I was black, and he just kept laying into me, and everybody in the room was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he's just, and I was like, and I let him say his piece, and then he just kind of cocked his head and smirked a little bit, and I was like, "Listen, you Johnny White bread looking motherfucker, don't be mad because my people have bigger dicks, and all of your white women are coming out," and he is just sitting there like snot coming out of his nose. He was dying, and I just kept on any Johnny White bread, cracker ass cracker, white boy. I was calling him everything I could, and he was dying. And then ever since then, he would come in and he would start laying into me again, calling me the most reprehensible things humanly possible. It's like, Jesus, man.
That's funny.
I was like, but yeah, I let him speak his piece, and I was like, listen, you honky motherfucker. It just started. So I had the
that's how you do
opposite
it.
experience. I had a great experience of like,
Yeah, that's I think a little bit different. And also, I think Knoxville has a little better education.
well,
Not in
and
a bad way, just like a.
it's a weird thing to talk about, but Knoxville, the national average. God, how can two white people talk about this? Not fucking weird. I think it's either 11 or 12% of the population is black.
Mm-hmm.
Knoxville, it's like 18 or 19% of Knoxville is black. And everybody is like, well, Knoxville's so white and it's so racist and it's all this. It's like, we have more black people. It's just they don't live in West Knoxville.
Right, or in the county.
West Knoxville is racist. I was like, but you can go to South Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to East Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really go to Knoxville because that starts getting into... When I was young, there were still cross burnings in halls because a black couple moved out there. When I was in middle school...
Yeah.
There was a cross burning. And
That's out in the county too, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So but if you go like East Knoxville and South Knoxville, and even a lot of this area, a lot of the past Old North going to Fountain, once you get to Fountain C, it's all rich white people.
Yep.
But like all of this, yeah, it's very diverse, and especially now with more, I don't know the term, Latino. I got fussed at a person for saying Latinx, an actual Latino person for saying Latinx. She was like, "No, that's some bullshit. That's some white people bullshit." Like, all right. I'm in.
Check. Okay.
Latino? Can I say that, please? And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "And this area has," and I'm like, "Good,
Yeah.
good."
Yeah, like a little bit more diversity, and I feel like if you're like I guess more of the city and community.
Yeah.
Areas and stuff kind of coming together, that makes a lot of sense. So there's like more of that diversity anyways.
Well, and the guy that lives on the farm.
I also don't want to live in West Knoxville. Like that's God. Sorry. Or Farragut. Ugh.
So
God
hell,
forbid.
I'm just telling you stories on stories. So growing up, my dad hates West Knoxville. Hates it.
I understand,
he was
Dad.
like, there's two cities. There's West Knoxville and there's the rest of us.
Yeah.
And he was like,
It's
that's
true.
literally what it is. And when I was a freshman, I had to get cleats, and Easttown was still open.
Yeah.
They didn't have them in my size at that time, so we had to go to Westtown. He's like, all right, let's go. And so we're driving, And we hit a point, and now I'm 13. So and there are a group of high school girls in front of me who are my age.
Yeah.
So it's not old man creeper on like I was 13. They were probably older than me.
Yeah.
And I, of course, stared. They're pretty girls. And my dad went, "Don't ever date a girl from West Knoxville." He's like, "They always have money. They'll always have money, and they'll always expect you to have money."
Yeah.
And as a kid, I was like, "All right, Dad." At like 30, I was like, "What do you mean I'm not going to have money, Dad? You bastard? What the hell, man?" I was like, "Come on, man."
Hey, at least your family told you right. I was out here thinking, I'm going to make so much money in journalism. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
we'll get into that because I worked for the paper 2 different times.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But
I give up.
shit, what was I? Nah, I can't.
Sorry to talk about the cleats in West Knox.
Oh, yeah. Nah, that's enough of that bullshit.
That's West Knoxville for you.
Yeah, that's
That's enough of that. If
But
they come to my bar even, I'm like, do I want to serve them? Because they always expect table service. And I'm like, you're at a bar. You can just come up to us and say hello.
Don't get me started. Because this was when Peter Kern, back in the day, went in there with a group from the paper, and one of the saleswomen was from Alabama. And she came back. We were sitting in the back, and there was a group of us, and we're all drinking nice cocktails. This is right when it first home. She came back here, and she's like, "They don't even have anything nice like Bud Light." I was like, "Bud Light is not nice. Leave this bar. Go over to..."
Can I get a shot of Bud Light, please?
Yeah. I was like, I think I sent her to Prez Pub. I was like,
oh, yeah.
I was like, I guess Prez Pub has Bud Light. Well, Prez Pub was one of the first places that had good craft beer.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first time I ever tried Delirium, which I hated, but that's the first place.
At least you tried it.
Yeah. Them and Union Jacks in West Knoxville.
Oh, yeah. Union Jacks is good.
That is a good.
They got that little patio area, too, in the back.
Although, when I was going there, you could smoke in there. And it was brutal.
Well, that's why I liked Prez Pub at the time I was going to Prez Pub, because I was working at Market Square, and I was like, well, I could just easily, on my break, go to Prez Pub, get my weird gin neat, and then smoke a American Spirit Black. So,
oh, God.
I don't know what's wrong with me. They're just over
That's
here like,
a weird
Drew.
Combination. Gin straight and American Spirit Blacks.
This was after I left the news station, so I was having a rough time.
Okay.
And then I stopped all of it together, so, here we are.
Well, not the...
Take some progress. Oh, yeah. The drinking, I mean, it's just intermittent times, which I, stop or I'll continue. It just depends on the day or month.
The funniest thing to me is I smoke cigars. Mm-hmm. So there's all my humidors. My buddy Sean and I say we try to be the non-douchey cigar smokers because we're not the ones that are. It's like, no, it's a relaxation thing for us.
Yeah.
You can't work. You're just sitting and having community and have it with your friends.
Right.
That's how we smoke cigars. We're not assholes about it. But we would go to Union Jacks or something. And they're like, you can't smoke cigars in here, but you could still smoke cigarettes.
What?
And you couldn't
that's a little
smoke
goofy.
pipes. And I was like,
what?
Pipes are the greatest smelling thing ever, man. What are you
I'd rather somebody be smoking a pipe, which I do understand. Somebody be like, what's that jackass doing? With this little Tweedle vest and a little
handlebar mustache.
That's what it is. Pencil thing going on, the mustache.
And the cabbie hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could see him already. It's 2011. Union Jacks.
Oh, my God.
They just
vest. He's got a vest.
The tweed vest, yeah. The
Yeah.
Decemberist is playing in the background.
Yeah, vest. I was just picturing in my head the vest.
Argyle sweater under that.
Somehow with a pocket square on a vest. I
can see that too,
Or no, they have the what is it?
They can have the 2 pockets in the front.
The pocket watch. Pocket.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah.
Totally. I did rock a... God, this is a very much a old school rambling man that we're just very much rambling. I actually carried a pocket watch when I was in high school.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was just like, I think it was one of those things.
We all have our weird thing.
Well, I think it was one of those things. No one else was doing it.
Oh, there you go.
And I was just like, no, this is something that makes me interesting.
Might as well do it.
Sure.
I can tell the time. Let me pull out my pocket watch.
Hold on, let me.
Hello,
I gotta reset.
fellow students.
Yeah.
Daylight just happened.
Have a bubble pipe being like.
Pulls out pocket watch. What time is it now?
See, the one thing I forgot to tell you in the rules or the whatever.
Oh.
Is that I will always get us back on topic. So you moved to Sweetwater.
Okay. Yeah. Heck yeah. I moved to Sweetwater. I lived there.
So what did your folks do for a living?
I can't disclose that.
Okay. Okay.
My dad did things sometimes for like for a month and then quit a job and then find another one, then quit again and then.
Okay.
Yeah. My mom was a paralegal sometimes.
Okay. Well, I was trying to figure out how to pick up from Vegas and move here. Well, I was thinking maybe it was for a job, but no, you said family because that's where your great.
I think honestly it was because it was just so cheap. We didn't have to pay for anything moving into that house. The only thing we had to pay for was groceries. And that was about it.
Yeah.
So no rent. We had well water. And then I think electricity was the only thing we had to pay for.
Oh, my God.
So it was really affordable, I guess, for my family. Because coming from Vegas, I don't know what it costs out there. I was a kid. I have no idea. But I guess it cost enough. They were like, let's move to Sweetwater, Tennessee.
Although going from the dry heat.
I miss it.
To the humid.
It was horrible. That's when I actually hit my prepubescent age of always having acne. Because I just went back there. All my acne was gone. Then I came back out here to Tennessee, and all my acne's back.
Oh, my God.
I'm almost 30. I hate this. It's awful.
I will say I had bad acne issues. And,
it's awful.
But, and I even still wash my face with Neutrogena soap to try and combat it and all that. You know what I have found caused it? Cokes.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I'm cutting out sugar right now just to see how that does.
Okay.
I love Nerds gummy clusters. And it's like my go-to snack, and it's not good for me.
I don't know why you'd say that. It's not like it's 100% sugar.
I mean, it's so delicious. I hope there's one nutrient.
It's so colorful. It's so colorful.
One nutrient or something, a vitamin.
There was a point where I was drinking 5 to 7 2 liters of Mountain Dew a day.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well,
So
yeah,
then-
no kidding.
So then when I cut it out, and I wouldn't drink water because why the...
I know, yeah, water's awful. It has no flavor.
So when I...
Especially Knoxville water.
Oh, see, I'm used to it. I think it's I grew up with it. So I'm used to it.
Gross.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thank God I didn't offer you water. No, I did offer you water. Thank God
I already
you didn't
got my
take
water
it.
bottle.
But it may have been the drinking of the water, but I'm telling you, when I cut down to... Because I was even doing diet there for a long time, and it just hit a point, I was like, I just have to stop. So I'll drink one thing.
I've had one of those. That's really good.
Delicious.
Whatever it is.
One, so this is an East Side thing.
Oh, okay.
Used to get these in the gas stations over on the East Side. Clearly Canadian.
Weird.
And I found one in South Knoxville at the Kroger. I stopped to get groceries. And I walked down the Coke aisle because I've started buying 12 packs of Diet Ginger Ale or Diet Sprite, 7-Up.
Yeah.
Caffeine-free, sugar-free.
Yeah.
And I used to make fun of the
That's
people
good.
who drink caffeine-free drinks, and now I'm like...
They're so good.
No. But I'll drink one of those at night. But I saw this, and I was like, holy shit, I've got to get this. And
it's good.
Delicious.
Yeah, Pour has it, and if I ever want to drink, because they'll offer, hey, could I have whiskey? And I'm like, here you go. And they're like, what do you want? I'm like, do you have one of those weird sodas or root beer?
Yeah.
Because anytime I get wine, I'm like, dump it out. Sorry. Sorry, Pour.
Was it New York Seltzer? I used to drink a lot of New York Seltzer when I was a kid in the little glass bottles.
Yeah.
Have you ever had one of those?
No.
It's very good. It's very good. That and Boylan. I didn't have Boylan until I was in San Francisco in late 20-aughts in the aughts.
Yeah.
It's just the pure cane sugar soda. Shit, sorry, you can't do it now. But there's a black cherry one that is this shit I would drink if it wasn't.
Black cherry's a good flavor too.
$2.50, $3 a bottle. I would drink the hell out of this.
Yeah. Holy crap, that's expensive.
There's a pineapple cider at La Esperanza. Have you ever been to La Esperanza?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God. There's a pineapple.
I used to live off up the road.
There's a pineapple cider there that I get all the time because it is so spicy and it's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. So you're in Sweetwater. Parents are...
We can't disclose all
We're going to
that.
say they work for the government.
Yeah.
And that's why.
That's why it's so secretive.
So, any brothers or sisters?
I got a sister, or so I think non-binary, so sibling.
Oh, okay.
We're 16 years apart though. So when I was 16 and moved to Knoxville, my mom was like, "I'm pregnant." 5 months pregnant.
Holy hell.
She's like, I was wondering why I couldn't drink coffee, and I felt like shit after.
Oh my God.
So
Well, I have a sister who's 11 and a half years younger than me, so I understand the...
it's a big age gap.
Yeah.
Were you an only child before that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was the only grandkid for 10 years.
I also understand that. There were a whole bunch that happened after I already moved out here to Tennessee, and then more were born in Vegas. I never got to meet any of them yet.
Oh, shit.
I mean, they're all over the place. There's like a bajillion of... There's not, but...
And not to make this about... I've still never been to Vegas.
Oh, that's fine.
I know it's super cheap to go now on Allegiant or whatever.
It's just not super cheap to be there because cocktails are like $20, and then you have to be on the strip to actually get free drink. I'm talking about drinks for some reason. I think it's just because I talked about my job, but apparently you have to be on the strip in a casino playing one of the games, which the games take all your money.
Yeah.
If you don't get anything back, at least you might get a drink.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing poker with my dad and uncle since I was 8.
Yeah.
And then when I got into college, I started playing with these older guys that
Not creepy at all.
No, it's guys I worked with. We would do it at work. But it was so funny because it's like I grew up with my dad and uncles who would try to help one another.
Yeah.
And then I started playing with those guys. And I was like, holy shit, I don't have any money. What's going on? Oh, yeah, these guys don't care.
No.
These guys don't care about me at all.
No,
and,
not at all. They're in it to win it.
It made me have to learn to get better.
Yeah.
And then...
And fight for yourself.
So I got really good at playing cards. And then when the whole poker boom took off, all of a sudden other friends started wanting to play poker, and I would just take all their money.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
I know have you ever seen the movie Rounders?
No, I have not.
Good movie. It's Matt Damon, Edward Norton, and it's kind of the thing that started that poker boom. The same guys who write the show Billions, and they've written other movies and shows. Anyway, it's a really good movie. It's about, it takes poker very seriously, though, so it can get a little... but it's great.
It just made everybody else really interested in poker.
Yeah, John Malkovich is in it doing this weird Russian accent. It's worth it just for that. Pay that man his money. That's literally a line from... It's fucking great. But in it...
he got paid more than me.
But in that, it's the whole thing of I'm going to take my money and go to Vegas and sit down with the high rollers.
Yeah.
I've thought about, if I ever went, I would want to go to one of the old school casinos where they still allow smoking.
Yeah.
And where they actually play like Texas Hold'em.
I feel like Caesars had that. I can't remember. I know the Stratosphere for sure, yeah, but I don't know about that neighborhood.
I'm not going to sit down at a $10,000 table.
Yeah,
I'll sit down at a $100 table. Yeah, and just sit there. I would love to just sit there and play Hold'em and smoke cigars. And probably just drink beer. I don't need... Actually, I'll just drink water. I don't need a cocktail. I just want to sit there and play. Because I would... That's the only reason I would go.
Yeah.
Or for a show. Because I know the shows are pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
But also, those are crazy expensive too, aren't they?
They are, I think. Yeah. I think everything there is pretty expensive because we went to the Stratosphere, and even going up to the top was really, really expensive. And I'm very thankful for my family being like, okay, we're going to do all these things in 2 days before some funeral stuff.
Oh,
and got it all together. We got to go on the high roller, even that Ferris wheel.
Okay.
There's a Ferris wheel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't like heights, so I did all these things that were scary for me. So riding a plane. I hate riding on planes because it's heights. I'm looking down. It's scary. And then Stratosphere, also scary for the same reason. You touch the railing, apparently it rolls back so people can't jump off. I didn't know that because I touched it and I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, why is it moving? And they were like, oh, it's so you don't jump off. And I was like, oh, okay. Scary.
You're like, oh, okay. Wait.
And then there's helicopters flying around me at eye level, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh my God.
I can't imagine. I don't want to imagine.
Anyway,
sorry, I went dark again.
No, that's the only. That's the only reason I would want to go is for the shows.
Yeah,
I've heard. So Elton John did his last U.S. tour, but I've heard some people say that there's scuttlebutt that he may do a Las Vegas residency for a few years.
Maybe
if he does that, I'll go.
Yeah,
because I missed him on this damn tour.
I know, it was kind of a sudden thing, I feel like. Everybody was dressed up as Elton John, and I
and
had no idea
it
what
got
was happening.
Pushed back like a bunch of times because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But it's when the tickets went on sale, they were like $400. I was
Oh,
like,
God.
I love Elton John. I don't $400 love Elton John.
I feel that. Jack White had his tour, and it was also like $400. And I was like, I could pass. I'll just drive by his house again.
It blows my mind. Like, I've paid a lot of... I'm trying to think the most I've ever paid for a ticket.
Music festivals?
No?
No.
Oh, shit. Yeah, big ears. What am I thinking? Well, no, for like one show.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't know.
I went and saw Sigur Rós at the Ryman.
Yeah.
Like last fall. And I think I paid like $140.
Okay.
And like, but then recently I got a ticket to see Tori Amos.
Yeah.
At the Ryman. And I think tickets were like $50.
Oh, that's not too bad.
What the hell?
Huh.
It's like, this should be
way more, but
I think it was like 55 because with fees and everything, it was like 108. It was almost double. That's why I remember that number.
Oh, okay.
I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, Ticketmaster, AXS. AXS.
They all make so much money off people, like especially the resale tickets and everything. It's crazy.
Well, The Cure tour that's happening.
Yes, I saw that. They had crazy. The Cure was posting on Twitter about it, and they were like, we set the amount. We didn't realize how like crazy the resale price would be for so many tickets or for so many people. We hate that so much.
And they were doing the weird like dynamic pricing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, because of this, we're going to charge more.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
It was BS. Yeah. Total BS.
And
they were pissed about it too. They were like, fuck Ticketmaster. And I will personally say that as Drew Ellis, fuck Ticketmaster. Fuck them. If they sue me, fuck them. I'm private. I'm a private person.
And I will edit out where you spelled your name earlier, so they don't know how you spell it.
They don't even know how to spell it.
Nope.
It's okay. My last name could have been LaFatso at one point. So
LaFatso?
Yeah, I got my old name was LaFosto, and at my old place I used to work at, somebody mistyped my name. I'm an employee there for like 4.5 years, and they don't know how to spell my name, but they were like LaFatso. And I was like, perfect. I took a picture. I shared it on Facebook. She felt really bad. I didn't want her to feel bad. I thought it was just super funny. Because we all have mistypes,
I was going to say, did you not have a double take and be like, what the fuck?
Oh, I at first was like a little sad. I was like, wow, I've worked here for this long and nobody knows my name. Or how to spell it. It used to be L-E. Like, people would spell it L-E, but it's spelled L-A, like law, not L.
Okay.
I don't know.
LaFasto.
And that's how they thought my name was said and spelled.
French?
LaFasto is Italian.
Okay.
Mamma mia.
I didn't know because you didn't go LaFasto.
Hey, I didn't pull out the gabagoo.
Va for Napoli. If this makes you feel any better, when I was in high school, so all the coaches went to Fulton.
Yeah.
My parents and my uncles went to Fulton. So I'd been playing, football practice started before the school started, so I had already gotten to know all the coaches.
Yeah.
Before I started up there, and it was like the first week of me going to school. And you walk in the third floor, and all the coaches, you stand there and welcome everybody in. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? And like that. And so they're drinking their coffee. And my uncle came with me one time. He was down, they may have still been in Atlanta at that point, or Detroit, wherever he was at. He came into town. And he joined me, and I walked through, and they were like, Jody. And then he went, what'd you call him? And they were like, Jody. And he was like, no, that's my nephew, Judy. So I got called Judy for 4 years by all the coaches.
Oh, God.
I would walk into the room, and Coach Wright, the basketball coach, apparently I saw it later. He got it from Andy Griffith's show. He leaned back, and he'd go, Jude, did you? No, I think it's a Cary Grant thing.
Oh,
that
God.
Then one of the people from Andy Griffith, Ernest T. Bass, pulled it from Cary Grant. That's right. But he went, Jude, did you? I was like, God bless it, man. So for 4 years.
Did you not correct them?
No, because they were the coaches.
Oh, okay.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh,
they
my God.
They were picking on me.
Oh. I'd be like, is that really right?
No. No, those coaches, the things they got away with when I was going to
Oh,
school.
fair. Fair point.
We a group of
I
us.
could say and do anything at that point.
A group of us from high school met up and hung out the other night, and we started swapping stories. And it was like, oh yeah, that's right. They would throw them under the jail if they did the things they did to us.
Oh,
back
God.
then. Yeah. No, it was so. One of the football coaches has a metal plate in his head, and he would randomly grab a guy by the ears and headbutt him and knock him out.
Well, yeah.
He once
That'll do it.
did that to a football player who was in his helmet. He grabbed the ear holes, hit it. He cracked the helmet. They had to get the kid a new helmet.
Did that not pierce the skin for him based
No.
on like pressure?
No.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was tough. But the flip side, also one of the nicest human beings on the planet. Like there was one time
Thick skull.
he
Real
headbutted
nice.
somebody because there was a bigger kid picking on a smaller kid.
Mm-hmm.
And we were running around the gym inside because it was raining outside.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept picking on this kid. And so that coach was running. And then he just went to the big kid, flipped around, grabbed him by the ears, hit him, knocked him out, and then just kept running. All for picking on the smaller kid.
Hey, that's
And
a
he
good way
also-
of teaching a bully a lesson.
That bigger kid, screw that guy, stole my lunch money one time. And
Oh,
I told
my
that
God.
coach. And that coach went, "Oh, okay," and he just reached into his wallet and gave me lunch money.
Oh, well,
Like
that's
he
nice.
is his.
But
here-
screw that bully.
Here, I'll tell the very nice, the ultimate of all this. So his daughter got cancer and died when she was like, I think in her 30s. He and his wife adopted their kids and raised their kids. He is the
Aw.
greatest. But
That's
he would,
really tough.
But he would also headbutt. It's all about balance.
Yeah,
So-
that's fair. Aw. That's still really sweet, though.
Yeah, nicest guy in the world. But he would headbutt you.
Fuck that bully.
Yeah.
He
Oh yeah, that
deserved
guy
it.
was a piece of shit.
Yeah, well.
Although as I
gets
get
headbutt.
older, I realize I was like, oh yeah, I knew that the bully and his brothers, and they had a very not good home life.
Yeah.
And so he was just
it makes
taking it
sense.
out on a. Luckily, his younger brother, who's in my class, was a decent guy. It was
Yeah.
the older brother that was a real dickhead,
Yeah.
and that guy's
That makes sense. He probably had to be the one to carry all
Yeah.
the shit that was going on at home.
that guy's probably also dead.
Might be, yeah.
So, good Lord, here we're going to get to question number 3.
Oh, okay.
Hour 7 of the podcast. We'll get to question
Finally.
5. Were you all the reason why I asked about the sibling? See, I told you
Yeah.
I always come back.
Nice.
Were you always into like art as a kid?
Oh yeah, like growing up, here's my funny story. I was like, I think I'm pretty good at art, and the only reason I would think this is because my grandma on my dad's side would be like, "Oh, you're doing really good at your drawings," and I was like, "Oh." One moment in time where I'm like getting a little, I don't know, attention. So I was like, I guess I'll just keep drawing, whatever. Or validation. That's what I'm looking for. That's the word. So anytime I go over there, I just draw. Oh, I don't even know what I draw. I know what I drew this one week, and I stayed with my grandma. She was helping her son, my uncle, do a like high school project for why smoking is bad.
Okay.
And I said, "Oh, my dad smokes." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, I don't even know, but like I can draw it." And so I went and drew this thing, and she was like, "Oh, this is really good, Drew," and put it up on the fridge. And when my mom and dad came to pick me up later from grandma's, they looked on the fridge and saw this picture of a bong, and it was like really detailed and, you know, with the piece on the side, and like I put a little water in it, and I was like really proud of it. My grandma said, "This is a really good picture, Drew." So I was so happy. So she put it on the fridge.
Did she know what it was?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure, like, she can't be that oblivious. And also considering the rest of my family.
Well, and it's also like
history.
you're talking about smoking and you're not drawing a cigarette.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
good.
just said, oh, my dad just has this different thing he uses,
Yeah,
you know.
it's a pipe.
Yes. I was like, it makes noise, you know, because he would do it in front of me. I'm like 7 or 8, so like I knew not to like talk about it, but I was
Yeah.
like, he didn't say anything about drawing it, so
Yeah.
I guess I can draw it.
Oh my god.
So that's my one favorite story about that.
Were there any other artists in your family? Like what
My
got you
great
started?
grandpa was an artist. He did look. It looked like Bob Ross esque paintings and stuff.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. I don't really do like the same things that he does though. I bet he's one artist.
Okay. Do you know what it was that got you started in it, or you were just always doodling as a kid?
I was always just doodling.
Were you into comics or cartoons at all?
Not really. I think honestly a lot of it just came from like dreams and things, and so I would try to so like I guess here maybe dreams, yes, and then maybe sometimes when I first started figuring out what anime was. Oh, wait, Jack White. I would draw lots of Jack White.
Okay.
And I made him anime Jack White, so you know, I'm like 10 to 12 figuring out what all these things are. So I just draw him all the time and guitars and whatever.
Okay.
I'm a big White Stripes nerd, so.
Yeah, did you see, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but the whole bullshit came up again about Meg White not being a good drummer.
Yeah, it's such misogynistic bullshit. Anytime people like pull out that like card, you're like, Meg was bad. I'm like, that's so fucking stupid. That's the point of punk rock music, dude. Fuck you.
And the funniest part was one dude said it, and everybody was like, nah. Fuck you.
And then he left Twitter because everybody shredded him. Even Jack White's ex-wife was like, fuck you for, you know, saying this shit about my ex-husband's ex-wife. And I was like, that's an interesting sentence.
Yeah.
And also, fuck that guy.
And I feel like somebody saying that sentence has to be smoking a cigarette and have a bottle of Boone's Farm. Be like, hey, don't you talk about my ex-husband's ex-wife like that.
And it's so funny. She's like a supermodel and everything from Britain. So
that's right.
It's so funny. But I saw the original post, and that guy deleted his Twitter because he got shredded. Yeah. Because everybody was like, that's bullshit. Fuck you. And I was like,
there were all kinds of, like Steve Albini came out and he was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this is such bullshit. And I always feel like a little bit bad for Meg because I know she suffers a little bit from like anxiety and stress and things like that. I could only imagine maybe how fucking pissed she was though because she's trying to stay out of the limelight. But like, don't bring up my name if I'm not.
I did see someone said, Meg White made millions of dollars, was a talented drummer, made millions of dollars and told everybody to go fuck off.
Yep.
And she went and she's living her life.
Yep.
Who gives a shit what this nobody thinks?
Exactly.
Like, they were just, there was one person who made that point.
She's living a good life, I'm sure.
There was one person who was like, she doesn't have to do anything the rest of her fucking life.
No.
And she doesn't have to prove shit.
It's true.
Shut the fuck up. Like, there was one person that was just like,
on the dot, perfect. Good comment.
Not even arguing like whether or not, he did say she was a good drummer, but it was like, that's irrelevant at this point.
It really is.
She just
it's like
told everybody
the band broke up in 2007, so why is this guy digging it up now? Like, what's your problem, man?
It was so weird.
You.
It was and then some people were like, oh, welcome to this generation's version of Ringo is a bad drummer.
Oh, yeah, exactly. No, that's true. It's true.
It was just so funny of just like.
And people picked on Ringo. He was fine. He was a good drummer and everything, so whatever. I mean, for that time period. And look at all the music they made. Look at how much money they have. Like, they're fine.
Like same thing. If you look at the Rolling Stones, like Charlie Watts had like the most basic kit humanly possible.
Yeah.
And that's one of the founders, foundation of rock and roll is the Rolling Stones. And this dude had held one of the best drummers I've ever seen. Do you know who Junior Brown is?
No.
I think you'd have a lot of fun.
Okay.
He was this country guy in the 90s, but his look and everything was like 50s.
Okay.
And his songs are like Venom wearing denim. It's like rockabilly stuff.
Oh, okay.
And he was
that.
like, you're wanted by the police and my wife thinks you're dead. Like stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He plays a Get Steel where he built a steel guitar and a guitar in one thing.
Okay.
It's amazing. Like,
is it also like a lap guitar or something like that?
Well, he's got a stand.
Oh.
I've seen him I think 3 times. He's one of the best fucking guitar players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane to watch him sit there and pick and play.
It sounds like fun.
And then he'll play some like old blues song that's like super slow and like he's the best. But I saw him one time at Blue Cats, and the guy he had playing drums had one snare drum.
Yeah.
One snare drum, and he was like 80.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there in a suit and tie.
That's all you need. You got a rhythm right there. You're good. Rhythm and beach.
There in a suit and tie. I'm going to pull up a video just so you can see. It is I'm putting it on mute so I don't get in trouble with rights. But, and that guy played that drum, and I'm sitting there watching it going, How the hell is he doing that with one drum? It was because he was on eye level with me, and I'm like, what is happening?
And he's like 80 years old.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there pointing at him, going like, holy shit! It's like this is one of the best performances I've ever seen, and he's got one drum. I forgot one of the Junior Brown videos. He has a woman in it that's like 6'5" or something.
Damn. Okay.
Like I love him so much. This is great for an audio podcast. Look at that. Highway Patrol. Yeah. That was one of the songs. See, there's the Get Still. But yeah, like surf music. Yeah, he's done that.
Yeah.
My Wife Thinks You're Dead. He's the best. Like he is.
He looking like a weird guy.
Yeah. And I think he still plays and stuff. I want to think maybe I've seen him more than 3 times. Like, I think one of the times I saw him at the Bijou or the Tennessee.
Yeah.
They used to do music festivals in the World's Fair Park where they would set up on the lawn and then they would play in the amphitheater. So they would go back and forth those summer 3-day to where I saw Bruce Hornsby and Ben Folds 5 and like it was crazy. But yeah, this guy, he came out of nowhere in like the 90s and he did these songs that are just here. This is the woman who's like 6'5". You'll see it in a sec. I don't think it started playing the music yet, but I'll let you hear a little bit of the music.
Oh, it's supposed to be like a silent film.
Yeah. But I don't know. I love it. Like, it's one of those you can't listen to it all the look at her. She's giant. Well, she's my size. She must be a basketball player or something.
She's just Danish.
Yeah, she's just Danish. Yeah. That's his actual wife. She plays upright bass in his band. This is
tall.
We're just doing Ronin commentary over Junior Brown. You didn't think you were going to get into.
He looks like a friend of mine.
It's awesome. Like it's a lot of fun. And I don't know. Hell, I don't even know. Oh, drummer. And yeah, seeing that 80-year-old dude sit there and play drums at Blue Cats, it was bonkers.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Violent Femmes. They did like what? He had like his one drum, a snare, and then the cymbal, and that was it. And then they had the upright bass, and then they had Blister in the Sun. Like, that's their hit.
One of my favorite bands of all time. That dude just plays bongos. Guster.
That's fine.
Guster.
Oh, okay. I know
he
exactly what you're talking
bongos.
about. Yeah.
Now, he will play drum. They finally started adding drum. There's the Get Steel thing.
Oh, nice.
But you know,
they got the stand-up bass, too, in this. So.
Yeah. They will. See, there
he is.
That's not the 80-year-old dude, but that's the drum.
That's a guy.
Yeah, that's a guy playing one snare. Is that a snare?
It looks like a snare, yeah.
Okay, good. I don't
know if you should be. I have a snare drum. It looks like the snare drum I have under my bed.
But yeah, Guster, they just play. He plays the freaking bongos.
That's really funny,
and it's awesome. Like
I remember when I was like still at UT and everything, and I had to write an article, like a pretend article about a musician or something. I chose Guster, and I was like, "Oh, they have a new album coming out. I'm gonna write all about it and like do the thing where you like do commentary about the album." And I wrote about Guster. I don't even know what I wrote in that paper, but I was so excited about using these adjectives about what I was feeling and all this and that. Awesome. And then the guy was like, "You don't have to write like about music. You can write about like news."
Too late.
And I was like,
"Too late.
Just want to be part of the Rolling Stone magazine someday."
Guster. So I will say I've seen Guster a few times, and they are tremendous live.
Yeah,
like they're funny.
Yeah,
and they're fun. Like
they seem like a really fun band.
Yeah.
Like easy going.
Hell, I still love telling this story. Their van broke down, and they were in somewhere like New Hampshire or something, and it was snowing, so the tow truck couldn't get to them. So they just set up next to a dumpster and played an impromptu concert.
For anybody who's stuck in the snow.
And I'm not kidding. They started doing that more and more to where during the pandemic, they actually played a dumpster show.
Oh, nice. There you go.
That's their thing. Like, they're irreverent and funny. Like, God love them.
That's really funny.
And they have sad songs and they have heartfelt songs.
No, they got some good music.
Yeah, but then they're goofy idiots. The dude, God, I can't pass this, but he jumped off the stage, came out into the crowd, and danced with me.
Nice.
And then
little tango.
he just buried his head in my chest.
Aww.
And then I just started.
How sweet.
I just started swaying him, and then he went back up on stage, and the song ended, but he like moseyed like this to me and then away from me. He just patted me on the chest and walked away. But he got up there
a
and
tender moment.
he's sitting there tuning his guitar, and he was like, "You guys ever dance with a large bearded man?" And they're like, "Nah, can't say I have." He's like, "You should do it sometime." And then they start to play the next song, and he starts playing it, and they get like 2 bars in, and they're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," and they stop it, and they're like, "That's the song we just played." And he was like, "I'm still thinking about that large bearded man." Dancing with him. And he made up a song about me on the moment about dancing with, like, that's what I say. I am a fan.
That's funny.
I'm a fan for life because how much.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I saw them in Nashville end of last year, they played with the symphony, which was awesome.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah. They did a live with the Colorado Symphony at Red Rocks, and they released it. And it's great.
I like Red
it's
Rocks.
Great.
It's a good
Never
venue.
Never been.
Oh.
That's my dream venue.
Okay. Well, one day, I'm sure.
I've tried.
Oh.
I've tried. Tickets are too expensive. And I feel like you got to sit in like the first 50 rows to actually see the stage.
Probably, yeah.
But
it's great for just being there and exercising if you're interested in running
look
up
at
and
me.
down
No.
the stairs.
I'm drinking my clearly Canadian.
I'm thinking about the one time I visited, and I was like, wow, people are just using this as like a workout routine, and I want to do that.
My friend Sasha, who lives out there, she'll send me videos of dudes running down it backwards.
Oh, yeah.
She's like,
They do
Colorado.
some crazy stuff.
They're like, she's like, we are built different out here.
It's
It
true.
is crazy. But yeah, Guster, I saw them in Nashville, and he did the same thing. He came out into the crowd, and he was like literally walking down a row, singing the song, going, da, 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 da. Excuse me, da, 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 da. Excuse me, just making his way to find somebody in the dead center to start dancing. Like it's like, holy shit, this is
my
awesome.
target this time.
This is awesome.
That's funny.
Wasn't as good as the large.
I like musicians that'll go out into the audience like that. Yeah. It's just fun and refreshing to be like, oh, you're human too, and everything. Not like completely starstruck, like, who is that guy?
Oh yeah,
that kind of thing, you know.
Saint Vincent, Father John Misty. Like Father John Misty came down into the crowd, and I couldn't get anybody to go to that show with me. This was after his first album.
Yeah.
He played the Bijou, so there was an empty seat next to me. And in the next seat was my friend Lindsay, who was the biggest fan.
Yeah. And
he looked at me, saw the empty seat, and he pointed up, and I helped him and held him up.
Yeah.
While he sat there and sang. And Lindsay was sitting there. I was like, I thought she was going to pass out. Like, because he was just like,
hey,
right
I get
there.
it. I get it.
Like, ah. And Saint Vincent, it was during Big Ears, like the second year.
Yeah.
She was at the Bijou, and she came out, and she was almost like jumping to crowd surf from the ground. Like,
that's
it was
terrifying.
Crazy. Yeah. And then Buddy Guy, I took my dad to see Buddy Guy at the Tennessee.
Yeah.
And he, first of all, he played Purple Haze by laying his guitar on top of the amp and taking a towel and hitting the towel to the, and he played
guitar.
it perfectly. It's like, how the fuck?
Are you sure? Was
Yes.
it oh.
Purple Haze? Like, you could tell because it would go like boing, boing, like Purple Haze, you know, whatever. And then he came down into the crowd.
Oh, my abs.
And we were sitting in that front section, the back row towards there's that wall.
Yeah.
And he came around, and my dad and I are standing up, and we turn around, and he saw us, and he turned and started playing directly at us for like a solid minute.
So it sounds like you just stand out in a crowd.
Sometimes. And I went to grab my phone. I was like, no, dumbass, don't take a picture. Just
Enjoy the moment.
And we did. And
yeah,
so
I
he's
get
coming
that.
back. And
It's tough.
he's coming back, and Dad was like, well, how are we going to top that, Dad? We can't top that.
Yeah.
We can't. So I mentioned this came up on like TikTok the other day about being the big guy in a crowd.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was at the pilot light. Do you know the Civil War is?
The band? Yeah. Yeah, because they looked, so they sounded a little bit like the White Stripes.
Oh.
To me,
Really?
it was like kind of like a country, it was a guy and a girl.
Yeah.
that was
I
mostly
thought they
it.
were a
That
lot
was
softer.
it.
I thought they were a lot softer.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what-
There's some White Stripes songs that are a little soft. They're just.
Well, there was another. I think there was another band they remind me of called East Mountain South. They only released one album, and it's a great album beginning to end. But it is treads a little bit on that sound, a little bit like East Nashville. Is it Christian? Is it not
Yeah,
Christian?
yeah.
But I love that album. But she played the Pilot Light
Interesting.
a few years ago, which is a weird choice for Joy Williams to play. But there was one point during the show, she just went, I want to give a shout out to the big guy for standing in the back. Because are you standing back there so you won't be in anybody's way? I went, yeah. Like, good for you. Good for you. And she started getting all excited.
That's funny.
Like, holy shit.
See, that's really nice though, because all the short people could get to the front.
Yeah.
And the blind people. I'm kind of tall-ish. Not really. I'm just like medium-sized, but I'm like that perfect height. I'm just in the way.
Oh.
But I'm blind as hell, so I can't see. And I'm like, oh, I'll just hide in the corner, and I'll put my earplugs in and
I get
stare.
frustrated because anytime I go to a show at the Mill of Mine, if there is any dude who is over 6 feet tall, he will stand right in front of me.
Yeah, that
like,
sounds
how
right.
can
And
you
it's
not-
always right there at eye level.
I was
and
like,
you're
how can you not step one away?
Yeah.
Just one away. I
Yeah.
was like, I've got a perfect view. Motherfucker. Why
I
is
know.
this 6'2", motherfucker? Get out of my way.
You're right. My eyes.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I hate when somebody just has like very fun hair, and I'm like, please, your ponytail's in the way.
They were picking on that woman at the Oscars because she wore some outfit that went up like
Oh, geez.
3 feet above her head. And there was one shot where Kimmel went over there in her area. I was like, he's going to pick on her. But then I saw the replay of the video, and there's a woman behind her. You literally see her head pop out like this. And it's just like, oh, God, those poor people. Imagine getting all the way to the Oscars and then being like,
hiding behind this whole entire
we can't
person's dress.
see, like three rows back. Anyway,
That's funny.
okay.
Sorry. Oh,
So anime, Jack White. For some reason that mesh.
we talked about Jack White because the white stripe, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So, do you remember the first piece or artist that kind of made you take notice? Was there something you saw that you were like, oh shit?
I constantly am always looking at other artists to see like what inspiration I can get from them. I haven't found like one specific artist that I'm like, that's the one.
No, I mean early when you were young. Was there
Even
some-
then, no, there was
Okay.
nothing really in
No?
particular. I like, I don't know. I just knew I liked drawing the things that I saw around me. I also was obsessed with Pokemon, so I just sit around drawing
Okay.
Pokemon. Like,
Okay.
I saw in a second grade journal of mine, it was like right after 9/11. I drew a picture of the Twin Towers.
Here we go. We're getting dark again. Holy
Oh
shit.
my god. It was Squirtle and Totodile, and they were using water gun to put out the fire.
Wow.
And I didn't know as a kid how like
Do you still have this?
yes, I do.
That's amazing. Can this go up on your grandmother's
I'm
fridge?
sure my
This is a
grandmother.
bomb.
They'd be like, "What is this dinosaur thing?" My parent, everybody called it Pokemon. They were like, "What is this?" You know, it wasn't a whole big thing yet at that time, but yeah, it was when the second gen came out. So I drew Totodile. I was like, "Of course, a water type Pokemon. I must draw him, and he will save all the people."
Oh my God.
There was like a lot of trauma there. It was just weird.
Gee. Well, I can't-
Escapism is
I can't-
wonderful.
I can't say anything. I collected comics, and there were all these comics related to 9/11. It came out after. There was an
mean-
issue of Spider-Man that was like essentially addressing why did the superheroes stop this from happening for any kids that
Yeah.
would read it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And
Because
it-
it's one of those things that's a very traumatizing thing to watch on screen.
Well,
and
and
so, like,
it's-
how do you address that?
And in Marvel comics, all of them were based in New York.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, so you have
Yeah.
to make a story
Yeah.
so they explain what was
Yeah.
happening.
but it's a friend of
Superman
mine.
was at Burger King. Batman
He's
was
in Metropolis.
Oh, there you
DC's not real. Like
Oh, oopsies.
Marvel, they're in real.
go. Wrong ones.
Yeah, that's fine.
Spider-Man, he was pooping. That's Marvel.
I can't remember
Whoops.
what he was doing, but
He was having a party.
yeah. Did your family encourage you to keep doing art?
They
Other
never
than
really
your
noticed,
grandmother?
I'll be
Okay.
honest. They didn't really notice that
Okay.
I was like into it or like that sounds kind of sad, but it is a little
No.
I'm like they didn't really like encourage or validate or anything. They were just like
I
not paying attention.
there are no artists in my family. My parents didn't notice me drawing either. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would be in school, and when the teacher would be talking, I would be drawing, and
Yeah.
it wasn't just like roses and fun stuff. It would just be like actual little patterns and things, and
Okay.
that's when I like.
Did high school have an art program or anything?
High school had an art program. I did it for like 1 year. I mostly I wanted to study languages once I got into high school because
Okay.
I went to Sweetwater High School for 1 year. They only had Spanish. You couldn't take Spanish until sophomore year. I was really upset. So I had just 1 year in high school where I learned no foreign language. And I remember at that age, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to remember any languages if I don't learn them now because I'm young. I'm
Yeah.
able to retain the language a little bit better than I would if I was older. So I was really weird about that in like 9th grade. So I took all these foreign language classes in Bearded. So I took French, I took German. I got to like French 4. I was in the French Honor Society. I have no French in me. 0 French. I have German in me, but I got the German 3. And then I took 1 art class, and that was it.
To get dark. Well, the Germans did capture the French, so
Yeah. I'm also German, so I'm like, there's just a lot of, I don't want to look at that.
Okay, so in Bearden you were able to take.
Took 1 art class.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I just like, I remember the teacher was super strict. She was like, don't use black and white. She just said, don't use black and white because you don't understand. If you don't understand color theory, you're not going to understand shading and this and that. So it was really weird for me because I only liked black and white. I knew how highlights and shadows worked.
Yeah.
That was all I enjoyed doing. So when she was like that, you have to use color and learn color theory. I was like, ugh, God.
That's so weird because like I didn't like that was the foundation we learned in college was black and white using charcoals and stuff to learn.
She was doing the opposite, I guess. I don't know what it was. I just remember being upset because she was like super bizarre about that specific thing, and I was like, that's the one thing I really enjoy doing.
Huh.
And now I was like, I went to college. I never had time for art. I was always working and
Okay, so you
college.
got into languages. When you got out of high school, did you know what you wanted to do?
No, I went into journalism immediately. So
Okay.
I still, even when I was like going through the program, I was like, this is not what I want to be doing. I honestly thought about graphic design. That sounded like something
Yeah.
more up my alley, but it was so expensive and I had no money because my family, lived in
Yeah.
a house for free for however long. So, and scholarships were hard to come by because, you're trying to be like 3.5 GPA plus and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it was just, really tough to keep scholarships. So I didn't do graphic design, but that would have been like up my alley, I think.
So I'm trying to think. Do you know Erin Hatfield?
That's a very familiar name, but
Although I think she may be mid to. God, Erin, please don't kill me. I think she may be. Let's see. I think she may be mid-30s.
Okay.
So she may have been before you.
possibly.
Yeah.
But she also might have been an alum that was on like a screen or something and on like a television.
Did you go at UT? Or?
I went to UT,
Okay.
yeah.
She was in the journalism program there. She worked at the paper.
I'm sorry, Aaron.
Yeah. But then she went to work, I think, for WATE for a while. Now she's at UT. Now she's at UT.
Okay. Maybe her
Was she
name sounds very familiar.
super nice person.
And my friends, I had a lot of friends that went to WATE to work. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we
Could
might
be.
have met.
Yeah. Super nice person. You probably met her around town or something, maybe even.
Probably.
She's awesome. But okay, so what led you into journalism?
I wanted to be a meteorologist because I loved weather. I had 3 hobbies.
Okay.
Meteorology and weather, art, and then, what was the other one? Oh, Jack White.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Those are my 3 hobbies.
Trying to think how
Those
you
are my
can-
3 personality traits.
How you can merge those together.
I
There you
don't
go.
know.
Is that an Aquarius? Was it Aquarius?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it
Thank
is.
God.
We'll
I was
make
like,
it.
was it Aquarius?
Oh,
or-
that's also my personality. I
or
forgot. I'm an
Sagittarius.
Aquarius.
Sagittarius. I couldn't remember. It was Aquarius.
Oh, don't let me in with those guys.
Well, there you go. Aquarius, isn't that a water sign? So
No.
rain. Oh, damn it. Okay. I don't know shit.
Okay, my mom had horoscope books, so I got to read all about it when I was growing up. I got
God.
astronomy and astrology confused. So I said sometime in like when my parents were really trying to figure out what do you want to do, I was like, I want to learn astrology in college.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, do you mean astronomy?
So that's part of the reason why this podcast got started. I was talking to a buddy of mine who's a PhD in English literature at UT, and we're sitting around talking, smoking cigars. And he was like,
There you go.
and he was like, I'm thinking about really getting into astronomy. And we keep talking, and like 5 minutes later, I was like, dude, I thought you said astrology. And I was trying to figure out a way to bust your balls without making you feel bad. and we just laughed, and then we talked about that for like 30 more minutes, because it was just like, can you imagine being at like a hoity-toity party, and they're like, so what are you into? Well, I'm really into astrology. I just love and we just started riffing on what that would be, but taking it like deathly seriously, but not like in that it was astronomy.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was the best. I was like, I got to start recording these damn conversations.
Yeah.
It's so stupid and fun.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I get that. I was a young kid, and I was like, I want to learn astrology for my major.
Oh my God.
I didn't know any better.
Journalism. Can I ask what year you graduated? Let's see. 20?
Yeah, I graduated in 2016.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Child.
I know.
Child. Well, I'm trying to think. Like,
so Gary says all the time. It's fine.
And he's younger than me. And he keeps trying to, Gary, I know you're listening. Gary keeps trying to act like we're like 5 years difference or we're the exact same age. It's never what it actually is, which is like 3 years difference.
Yeah, that's not the same.
Yeah. Come on, Gary.
That's really funny.
Yeah. No, I was trying to think the first time I worked at the paper, there was a young woman that I'm still friends with, Ashley, that she was in a master's program for journalism.
I'm sorry.
And she sat across from me.
She shorter?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, this would have been like 2010.
Oh, no.
Like this would have been way back then.
No.
But she would talk to me a lot because I knew that was right at the beginning of social media, and I knew a lot about social media. And she was like, yeah, they're starting to teach us like how to tweet and all that. And this was like
Facebook, Twitter,
2010,
Instagram just came out, I think.
Actually,
but we weren't using that quite yet because I was like,
I'm trying to think. This was 2008, 2009. So Twitter was like 2 years old.
Yeah,
at that
it was
point.
a baby.
Yeah,
Instagram wasn't there yet because I think that was 2011.
But she would talk to me about social media and like how I was using it.
Yeah.
Back then, like Tumblr had just started.
Yeah, I just made a Tumblr last year.
Oh,
fun fact.
I have been running. I post a song of the day every weekday.
Yeah,
on
Tumblr.
On Tumblr, and I have been doing it for.
Proud of you. That's great.
10 years, 12 years.
Dang.
Like, and I usually do not miss a day. Like, I used to post. There was a site called Posterous.
Yeah.
And I used Posterous forever, and then they went away, so I started using Tumblr.
Yeah.
But yeah, every day, and it's always weird choices. Like,
oh yeah, I just do that on my Facebook, and everybody just ignores it, and I'm like, that's fine. I know I'm not 13
most people
anymore,
ignore mine too, even though I've been doing it this long.
I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. Is like you're dedicated.
Today
you gotta always post.
Today was a Hold Steady song.
Okay.
Do you know the Hold Steady?
Yeah.
I like.
I'll be honest though, like I really was obsessed with the White Stripes, so I missed a lot of music. Like I was like, it was peak emo times apparently, and I didn't listen to any of that. I was like, nah, Jack White's where it's
just
at.
Jack White
and Modest Mouse. That was another band. I was like, oh, Modest Mouse. They have the same birthday. The lead singer Isaac Brock and Jack White.
Really?
Fun fact.
So, Modest Mouse. I like, but I have to listen to in bursts.
Yes, I can't. Well, depends. If you're a depressed teenager, it was perfect to listen to all at once, all the time. But
I found a side project that he had that I just happened upon a song, and I was like, "That's a good song." And then, like the second time I heard the song, I was like, "It sounds like the dude from Modest Mouse." It is the dude from Modest Mouse.
What's it called? What's the band?
Oh God.
Sorry.
Why you gotta put me on the spot like this?
I'm sorry. I have to know now. They were a very impactful band.
There it is.
I don't like them as much now that I'm older. I like Incubus now for some reason, which I don't really know what happened there.
So Incubus. Hear that? Ugly Casanova.
Oh, duh. Yeah. Okay.
The song is "Here's to Now."
Holy crap. That's been such a long time. That was on my iPod.
Oh, Jesus. Incubus is a weird one in that, like, their first one was super, like, jammy and weed smoky.
Yes.
But then they kept evolving. And
they got weird and, like, funky and then jazzy and then, like, ska surfer.
Did they?
It's weird all over the place.
Oh, the surfer, yes.
Like, each album changes.
What is that? Morning View?
Morning View, yeah. And it has aqueous transmission on that album, which
So that album,
fantastic.
I've probably listened to hundreds of times.
Okay, that is like the album that got me into them.
Yeah.
So because it has the blue ocean and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, it's
and
really,
it was very surfer.
Yeah, it was great.
But yeah, those early albums where it would be like heavy DJ,
Oh yeah.
and they would do this almost what's it called? Not like math rock, but just almost like math rock, like
Yeah.
so fast and technical.
I kind of like that part too because I was having like a crystal method phase too, and I don't know why. I just really like that like EDM DJ style music. I don't know why. I got obsessed with Incubus because they were just so happy, and I just like that happy vibe. Some of their songs are a little.
They opened up for Green Day at the Civic Coliseum.
Oh my god!
And it was
of course they opened up for Green Day.
It was a good show. It was a good show.
I went to a Green Day concert a while ago, and I didn't really know Green Day that well.
Okay.
But I was really excited because Kaiser Chiefs was going to open for them, so I was way more excited about that.
I think I saw them at the Bijou years ago.
They're fun. They're a lot of fun.
So Green Day. Here you're getting all my stories.
Sorry.
No, you're getting all my stories. So the first time I saw Green Day was in like 1993 at the Mercury Lounge, which is now Preservation Pub.
Okay.
Where they were on the Kerplunk tour.
Oh my god.
And I was underage and got in there, and I was always like, well, I got in there, but because I was so big.
Yeah.
And then one of my buddies heard me say that on a podcast and texted me and was like, hey, dumbass, they didn't card anybody. I was like, oh yeah, it was me and 3
it was 93
girls from my art class. Chandra, Valerie, and Melanie.
Nice.
Melody.
Uh-oh.
Melanie.
Don't tell
Melanie. The 3 of us, the 4 of us went and saw Green Day. We saw Operation Ivy.
That's fucking
all
funny.
The Lookout Records people, we saw all of those bands.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's my claim to fame with Green Day.
1993 Green Day.
I think whenever Kerplunk came out,
I can't imagine it because that's just like such a small venue. And when I saw them, it was like an arena, and I was like, I listened to Kaiser Chiefs. I was all done, happy, and I was like, I'm gonna use the bathroom. And then Green Day came out, and I could hear everybody screaming from the bathroom, and I was like, well, I guess Green Day's here.
Let's see. Oh, this album came out in 91. So it was before Dookie came out. I remember that.
Oh my god. See, I know Dookie.
Dookie came out in 94. So it was sometime, I guess, 93 would have been about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before Dookie. But, there's so many.
That's crazy.
I cannot tell you how many bands I have seen before they were somebody. The funniest flex that I didn't realize was a flex. Do you know who Tyler Childers is?
I've heard the name, but
he's a modern country guy, but he's not like he did an album called A Long Violent History. And then when he released it, he also did an accompanying 7-minute long video on why he supported Black Lives Matter in country.
Okay.
That's Tyler Childers.
So that's probably why I haven't heard about him, because they always seem to put
No, it's
they were like, oh, this guy is
it's
too proactive.
Tyler, Sturgill Simpson.
Yeah.
Chris Stapleton, though he gets played on modern Chris Stapleton's awesome. His voice, his guitar playing is crazy good.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Disc Exchange on Record Store Day.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That place doesn't exist anymore.
No.
It's crazy. I went there, though. I was very happy to go there a few times.
But Tyler Childers only follows 400, 500 people on Twitter, and one of them is me.
Aww.
It's like, what? Because I saw him in this opening for somebody in this smaller club.
Yeah.
And I videotaped it, and that is up on YouTube. It's got over 100,000 views.
Nice.
Because it's a song he's still not released.
Huh. Okay.
But
hey, there you go.
But anyway. All
that's kind of fun. You can
all the
find artists
bands
before
I've seen, all the bands it's insane.
Yeah.
Hell, and there are some I forget. Facebook memories will pop up and be like, "Huh, I saw Moon Taxi open for somebody at the Bijou 10 years ago."
It is interesting to see some of the bands that open for other bands and how big they end up getting.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. They're the openers for a reason.
It's the old school story of Van Halen opened for, I think it was Kiss and Ted Nugent, and they both kicked him off the tour because they were killing them every night. Because of course they are.
Yeah.
It's Van Halen.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Oh, their egos.
But I love that story of just being like, we got to get these damn kids off our tour, man. They're killing us every night. Holy shit, they're bringing the thunder. Like, what the hell?
and then nobody's left, after that. They've already cheered everything on.
Oh, God. That's another thing is how many times I've gone to a show and seen people leave after the opening act. I was like, what? You paid too much money.
Yeah.
What the hell? At least stay for like a few
I would
songs.
stay for all of them at
Yeah.
that point. There have been like some openers I'm like, oh, I actually like that opener a lot more than I like the actual band I was here for.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had that happen a few times. I'm like, oh, pleasantly surprised.
Joseph, which is this trio of sisters that do like harmony. Very good band. But the last time they played here, I saw there's this band called Deep Sea Diver that you might actually like.
Okay.
That opened for them, and I was just like blown away. I was like, holy shit, who is this band?
Yeah.
Like the lead singer and guitar player is a woman. She was like jumping up on this amp.
Yeah.
She was jumping up on this amp that was down for, or a sign that had their name or something.
Yeah, that's
it was
great.
just like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then Joseph came out and they were amazing, but I was just like, I saw this trio of sisters and their brother was playing drums on the Mumford & Sons stopover tour in Bristol, where they did an all-day festival.
Yeah.
And the band that opened it up on the small stage, or small stage and a large stage, were these three sisters, and their brother played drums, and they were like a metal band. Like, they were so heavy and all this. And then a year and a half, their album comes out, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I can't wait to listen to this. Put it on, hit play. What is this pop bullshit? It was Haim. I'm not kidding you. The first time I saw them, they were like a metal band. And then when I bought the album, I was like,
totally switched vibes.
This is bullshit. I don't want to hear
Total
this.
switch of vibes.
Yeah.
I like, when a band kind of expands in like different aspects of genre and stuff, and when it's a complete switch over and you're just like, and especially pop, like I can go and make a pop song. I was sitting in my office, don't tell anybody at my job, but I was making little songs and stuff, and I was like, I'm sure I can make a pop song.
Gary's listening to this, right?
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I was trying to make like a little pop song, and then I'm like, it just gets so boring. Like, how do you just sit there with your 4/4,
so
125?
On the flip side, during the pandemic, going back to cigars, good Lord, we're going to eventually get to these questions. This is it, though. This is the podcast. So you didn't listen to it. You're not used to it, man.
This is fine. I'm cool with this.
During the pandemic, a group of guys, including Sean Pointner, he was like, I want to start doing a get-together every week. Him and his wife, Dale Mackey, own the Central Collective. Mm-hmm. And they have that deck.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's like, let's get like 5 or 6 people together. We'll meet up every Wednesday night. And we called it Prayer Circle. And we all sat mutually distanced apart. Yeah. Bring whatever drinks you wanted to and drink. I mean, throughout the entire pandemic. Yeah. Like for a good 2 years, we did it every Wednesday. So.
Did you go to the sketch things that they do as well at Central Collective?
No, but there were a lot of times where we were there because I met you then. Oh, okay. Through Gary.
Okay.
Yeah, because he went to one.
Yeah. We went to one, and that was like another fun. I was like, oh, that's like an art topic, which I did go to.
So whenever you all came out and saw the dude sitting up on the deck, that was us.
Oh, that was you. Okay. So I just met my neighbor also for the first time at that. I met him that same day. He was walking on the street with his dog. He's like, hey, neighbor. And I was like, hi, other neighbor. I forgot his name right now. Oh, he'd be so upset. Anyways, he was at the Central Collective, and he was also doing the art thing. He's like, I just saw you earlier. Yeah. I was like, yeah. Later that night, you said something, because I do remember that, and I was like, who's that person? I don't know who that is. So I got like scared. I was like, no. We're looking at like a person that we had to draw. So anyways, I was just like not expecting things. My neighbor comes out, and he finds out his car doesn't start. He's like, can you jump my car? So I got to do that all in the same night. It was just a lot of random weird things. I was like, I'm meeting a lot of people right now, and I'm not going to remember any of this.
We would sit up there, and there was one point like a few months in where Sean and this guy, Curran Sheldon, Oscar-nominated Curran Sheldon, he and his wife, Elaine, I had them on. They did a short film that got nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, nice.
She just did a film that got played at Sundance that's going to play during Big Air. It's called King Cole. Okay. Give them a little shout out.
Yeah.
But we were sitting there and talking, and I think it was Curran. He was like, have you noticed there's some really good pop music right now? And so Sean and Curran and I were talking about it for like 30 minutes. And same thing. We were like, all right, new plan. Next week, we'll bring some good speakers. Everybody has to bring a few new artists, new pop artists.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what we'll play. So we're sharing
Hyper-pop.
music. So we did that. And of course, because it's me, and I can tell you, I can look at my playlists and tell you how many songs, because of course I have to overdo everything. Mine has 27 songs and is an hour and 40 minutes.
Hey, that's a good little playlist.
It's also not all pop. I gave up on the pop thing. I was like, just newer artists.
Yeah.
And we did that. The next week we played, and I won. Because the first song I played was by this guy, Child, Chiiild, the song Pirouette.
Okay.
And it was just like, holy shit, this is good. I was like, I don't fuck around when it comes to music, man.
Yeah.
I was doing my radio show every week.
I'll just share music with you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'll send you this, and it's
Sure.
all people who were like, but it's got like people who have come on to be bigger, like Black Pumas.
Mm-hmm.
Rina Sawayama. No,
don't know.
she's a newer that she's blown up.
Yeah.
But I found all these people but it's got like acousticy country stuff, and like Willie Carlisle who'll be playing at Barley's tomorrow night. This song called Cheap Cocaine.
Oh, okay.
That it sounds like Louisiana because it has like an accordion in it.
Yeah.
But I saw him on YouTube during the pandemic. I would pull up YouTube music, and I would pull up trending on YouTube, and I would watch any music that was in the top 50 of trending.
Oh, that's a good idea for like finding out like, a lot of new music that's coming out.
So here's my findings. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of shitty mumble rap out there.
Oh, I know.
And
I like some of it. I'll be honest. Yeah.
And there's a lot of there's a lot of Mexican rap out there.
There is, which is actually
Some
really
of it is
fantastic.
Some of it's good. Some of it's repetitive.
Yeah.
I can't dance. So
I can't dance. Well, if I'm in my bedroom and no one sees me, I'm fine with dancing.
But so I pulled together this list. So one of the bands that is one of my favorite bands. Oh yeah, I have to tell you about that one. One of my favorite bands is a band that I can't remember. My buddy Chris, I think it was like late 2019. He was like, "Man, I found this band. I think you would like them." So he shared them with me, and now they are one of the things I listen to the most. The Midnight.
Oh, okay.
So I've shared it with Gary.
Huh.
That do you know the Midnight?
I've heard of them, yeah.
They're unbelievable.
That's really funny.
It's kind of like 80s sounding music.
Yeah.
And then fans of theirs will cut 80s films to their song and make music videos on YouTube.
That's kind of cool.
It's amazing. But it's very like relaxed, and it's beautiful.
I do like the music that has been coming out. It seems to be kind of on that lax side, and like kind of like you kind of like sail with it as it goes along.
Well, she's a little bit old, but like Maggie Rogers, I really love Maggie Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a new one called Samia, Samia, who is Kathy Najimy's daughter. Kathy Najimy from Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
It's her daughter. And she has a new album that's really good, which goes back to this one. So I'm looking on YouTube and I'm listening to this song. I'm like, man, this is a really good song. This young woman, I think she's going to go places.
Yeah.
The song was Driver's License, and it was Olivia Rodrigo. I found her a week before she blew up. Because then the next week,
all over TikTok immediately.
Yes.
Everybody was like, I love this song.
But yeah, it was on YouTube.
It sounded like Paramore for some reason too, and everybody got into that. But
Paramore, Elvis Costello, Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that Driver's License song, it was like one to watch.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a really good song. Gracie Abrams, who is J.J. Abrams' daughter, I found her that way.
Huh.
She's really good. Now she's working with the brothers from The National on her new album. I'm like, fuck, man. I was like, that's the good pop music.
Yeah.
No offense if you like this person. Screw Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Like, this is the good shit.
I get it. Yeah.
This is the good shit. I hate Katy Perry.
There's one girl that I like a lot. Her name's Slater with like 3 Y's in the middle. And
okay. I'll write that down.
It's just a lot of fun. It's a hyper pop, a very bimbo music, I guess is the best way to describe it. And I like that a lot. I don't know what it is, but
shit, you're probably going to know this band, Sleigh Bells. I
Sleigh
really
bells,
liked
yeah.
Sleigh Bells.
Yeah.
Which that was like weird, like
Are they bimbos?
no, but I would say like cheerleader metal.
Oh, yeah.
Because it
Oh,
was-
Poppy is another good example too. She was
Who?
Poppy, like literally her name is Poppy. She started
No.
out with like a lot of very pop-esque music and kind of like I think when she was part of this record label for a while, she had to do things specifically acting like she's a robot kind of. I don't know.
Okay.
It was very weird, and she was like feeling very restrained. I think she left the
God,
label itself and went into metal, and just
She looks like a 12-year-old.
I know, it's crazy, but her voice is incredible. Like she
Okay.
has such a like I don't know high soprano voice, and then she does a good job with the metal. She sang with Grimes, that
Oh, okay. Yeah.
lady we all saw with the Communist Manifesto or whatever.
Oh, did you? I missed that. See,
She broke up with Elon and was like, I'm going to get back at it with the
I-
Communist Manifesto.
What is it that was in that group? It was Grimes. It was. There's like 3 or 4 women that were right in there that weren't. Shit. Now I can't pull them. That they were all in that kind of same style.
Yeah,
that
I know what you're talking about.
that
I don't remember.
All of them, I was like, this is good, but it's just not for me for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
I just can't get into it. Shit, now I can't remember the other one's name. It's going to drive me nuts. Because that's another one. Gary, man, you're getting a lot of shout-outs.
Was it
It's-
Kim Petras?
No, it's
Okay.
somebody he's in love with
Oh, okay.
that came out around the same time as Grimes. And he will yell at me when I say, oh, yeah, it's so-and-so.
I could just ask him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey, who's that girl you liked?
Yeah.
She
I'm
sings
going to
music.
look up Grimes to see if it has.
Oh, probably.
No, because it's got all the stupid
All the Elon Musk music
and all that shit. Janelle Monáe. I like Janelle Monáe a
Oh
lot.
yeah, she's great. I mean, even Willow, Will Smith's daughter, fantastic singer and everything too. I was just thinking of other like popular celebrities who had.
So one that is now all of a sudden famous that I was like, oh, I liked her because she was on a Washed Out song. Do you know Washed Out?
I know Washed Out. I saw them live, and it was a fantastic show.
Where was it at?
Firefly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, up in Delaware.
I was going to say, if it's at the Bijou, I was there. Because I think they played the Bijou twice. Caroline Polachek. She's
Polachek. I've seen the name. I'm sure if I heard a song that was popular, I remember, but
she's like playing the rhyme, and I was like, she
Oh.
was on a freaking Washed Out song. That's how I found her.
Oh, that makes sense then, yeah.
And it was just like, but it's weird in that like on the album, she's not on the album. Adult Swim,
yeah.
taking it back to cartoons, used to release those singles.
Yeah.
So she's on that version, but she's not on the album version, which is so weird.
That is
And
weird.
it's so much better in the singles version than it is on the album. Because she actually comes in and like sings over the top of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's really good. So then when I saw
Huh.
her name starting to pop up about how popular and she was nominated for Grammys, I was like, the
Oh.
woman from the Adult Swim singles? What the hell's going on? Like,
Yo, like
so
Adult Swim's where it's at with the music.
okay. That's where I found Run the Jewels, another favorite band.
Yeah.
Run the Jewels is, oh, God.
I just started listening to MF Doom. I don't know why I waited
Oh,
so
man.
long. I'm like so upset with myself. And then like The Alchemist, also fantastic. I'm like, this is all fantastic music I just completely missed out on.
I'll tell you, the Danger Doom album, where
Yeah.
it's him and Danger Mouse.
Yeah.
That's a great
Danger
album.
Mouse is also fantastic. And Jack White was on one of the albums, so of course I just happened to listen to Danger Mouse.
Now I'll have to Google if he was on this.
Danger Mouse was also at Firefly, and I got to see them. And I went to the front of the stage, and I was like, maybe Jack White will just come out. And
I'm trying to remember
hey.
if Jack White was. Oh, no. Sadly, he is not on this album. I was going to tell
that's
you
okay. That's fine.
about. My friend
I'll live.
Courtney is obsessed with Taylor Swift, like to the point to where she even got to meet her. Like,
That's great.
But the dudes from the National, the brothers, like produced her albums.
Yeah.
So we're going to see the National, and it was like Atlanta or Nashville. I was like, if we go to Nashville, there's a chance your girl might come out. And she was like, we're going to Nashville. I was like, okay,
Oh.
we're going to Nashville. Because it was, both of them were, one of them was like Tuesday night and Wednesday night. I was like,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to have to take.
That's usually how most bands do it. They drive through the South.
I was like, I'm
Nashville,
going to have to
Atlanta.
take PTO either way, so I don't care.
Yeah.
And there may be other people because in Nashville that may actually pop out. But it's
Yeah,
also the
that's true.
national.
I mean, anything
I
can
said
happen.
national Nashville, so there may be. I think they're kind of a band that just. Although, so they played the same years at Big Ears, and St. Vincent and My Brightest Diamond. Although My Brightest Diamond opened for them, they both came out and sang background vocals during a couple of the songs,
Oh,
which
okay.
was cool.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So
if
this,
they did do that in Nashville, have
Maybe.
some other backup
yeah,
surprise person.
I was going to say this. There's this weird album called Dark Night of the Soul that it's Danger Mouse and Sparkle Horse, and it has like David Lynch,
Okay,
is on it.
interesting.
Iggy Pop. Like that's why
That's funny.
that's why I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah, I
the Flaming Lips,
okay.
Gruff Rhymes from Super Furry Animals, Jason Little from was it Pinback, Granddaddy,
Oh,
Julian Casablancas from
the Strokes.
The Strokes.
Yep.
Black Francis from the Pixies, Iggy Pop, David Lynch, James Mercer.
I was so happy to see the Pixies live, and I would, just throwing it out there. I was just very happy to see
I can't
them.
do it because Kim is not in the band.
Yes.
It's hard. Like I struggle with that, and it sucks because they played the Tennessee Theater when Kim was still in the band, and I was going out of town for a conference, and I missed it by one day. Like I left that morning, and they played that night, and I was like,
That's annoying and
Yeah.
sad.
Vic Chestnut, Susan Vega, like it. Dark Night of the Soul. It's a weird ass album.
Yeah.
But I was thinking,
it
Jack
reminds
White
me a little
maybe.
bit of like, the Gorillas would have a lot of
Yeah.
like featured artists too and stuff. I didn't know I'd be so into Danny Brown until the Gorillas, and I was like, oh my god, he's incredible.
So
and now he has a new album coming out with JPEG Mafia, and I was like, this is exciting.
So Danny Brown, I found via. Shit, what is the God?
All I know is he came out on the stage whenever the Gorillas were there, and I was like, oh my god. I'm pretty sure he did. Maybe I'm on something. It was in Atlanta. Who
God, Why
knows?
can I not find this?
It's when you want to find it, you can't find it.
I thought it was Bella Speak. This duo that's a guy and a girl. Brown remix. I thought it was Bella Speak. Yep, I misspelled it. Purity Ring.
Oh, okay.
So he did a remix of their song where he essentially took their song, took out all the anything that wasn't a chorus,
Yeah.
and rapped over it.
Okay.
And that's how I found Danny Brown
Oh,
in 2012.
okay, nice. One of my coworkers at my bar was telling me how she and him were followers of each other on Twitter, and I was
Oh shit,
like,
that's awesome.
but she went back and checked recently when I was like, oh, I just started listening to Danny Brown. She's like, I'm really into him. We actually had this whole thing, da da da. And then she went and looked on her Twitter and was like, oh my god, he unfollowed me.
Oh
it was
my God.
really sad for like a couple hours, and I was like, oh,
He's
he's super talented.
he's got a podcast. He's nuts and he's funny as hell.
I could imagine he's nuts. I mean, just all the things that he's described in his songs. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I appreciate it. He's so vulnerable in his songs. It's nice.
JPEG Mafia is one that's lost me. I
That's
keep seeing
okay.
that name pop up. I'm like,
It's
okay.
weird.
Yeah.
I think I just liked it because it just sounded like things didn't make sense halfway through. But
I've tried with all these Lils that have been out, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Durk,
yeah,
Little Baby. I've tried with all them, and they just are not. And I tell you, a weird one for me, Chance the Rapper. Like there was the big album of his with like the cartoon with the or with the drawing.
I saw him live at Firefly too before he was
Really?
like.
But
People were
it's-
passing joints around. I was like, "How'd you guys get these in?" I'm so sad.
Oh,
I fucked up. I put it in a cigarette box and they threw it away. And I was like, damn, where'd you guys put these?
but it's like the first half of the album was pretty good, and then the second half was like all gospel stuff,
oh, interesting.
and it was just like
Huh.
I was like,
No, I'm
and
good.
I've tried with him. I've tried with. There's another guy that kind of that's another big guy who does the sing rap thing.
Yeah,
that
and
I
like
c-
singing over like old songs or something like that too.
Shit, it starts with a J.
Joji? No.
No, That's a weird one, though.
I like Joji.
So Joji is the person who invented the Harlem Shake meme.
Yeah.
Which still, I know.
And then you see Pink Guy, and you're like, who the fuck's this?
I know Joji from Glimpse of Us on TikTok.
Yeah.
Where it merges into La La Land. Like, that's how I know Joji. And then it was like, wait, he created what the?
I know. There's like so many weird things that he did.
Shit.
I love him very much.
J. Cole.
J. Cole, okay.
I tried with J. Cole because I was like, man, I feel like this is somebody, because I like kind of the old art, because I grew up listening to rap and R&B.
Yeah.
And I was like, it does nothing for me. There's a guy called Bryson Tiller that I like a lot.
Yeah.
And I like The Weeknd. I think The Weeknd is good.
He's got a crazy voice. I love it.
And because he did a remix on one of the Bryson Tiller songs that The Weeknd just uploaded to SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't put on streaming. It's not for sale anywhere.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I just did a version of this Bryson Tiller song, and here it is. It's like, what the fuck? And I was like, download. Before,
Keep this forever.
Before your record label figures out what the hell you just did.
Yeah. You got to get in there.
Oh, that's what bums me out about the Adult Swim singles. I wish they would start releasing those on vinyl, because there's
that'd be so cool.
some of those songs that are not available anywhere else.
Yeah.
Not on streaming, not anywhere, to where, thank God, I got the actual downloads.
Yeah.
There's this guy, the tallest man on earth.
Yeah.
He's about to come town. It's one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Is he really that tall?
No, he's tiny.
Oh, okay.
Here's how short he is. I'm standing up at the Bijou. He crouches. We are almost eye to eye. But he's like from Sweden. And he has this weird way of singing, but he picks really quick. And
that's fine, yeah.
To where I posted about the show, and I put, I'm not kidding, get your tickets. And Gary messaged me back. He was like, that's saying a lot coming from you. I was like, listen to him first. I don't want you yelling at me because you didn't like him. He's probably not for you, but it's still one of the best shows.
I sent him music. He liked my music whenever I sent it. It's all been erratic, but
yeah, but it's all Jack White. So,
no, it's not been. Mostly though.
Okay.
Check out the song. Oh, it's Jack White again.
Okay, so you're in college.
Yeah.
So you always circle back.
Yes.
Getting the degree in. Did you get your degree?
I got my degree. I graduated after 4 years. I didn't go to my own graduation because I was actually scheduled at work that day.
Okay.
So I told my job, I said, hey, I'm actually graduating that day. Can I have the day off? They said, oh, yeah, sure. We'll figure out a cover. And then I just didn't go to my graduation because it was like a week ahead. I didn't get my gown or anything. And I was like, screw this. I'll just have a day off, get my diploma in the mail. Nice. I was so done with college.
Yeah. Was it in journalism?
Yes.
Okay.
Journalism and electronic media. And I had a minor in geography because I loved maps.
Okay.
Don't know why.
Okay.
And it wasn't art. I don't know.
And so the job you're working and the jobs you worked after that, you were in journalism.
Yeah. I think I'm technically still in journalism if you consider
Oh, yeah, that's true.
nonprofit work to be.
Were you doing art on the side for fun? Or?
Yeah, once I was at the news station, I was so miserable. I was working 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'd have my job done at 6 a.m. And I was like, what do I have to do? None of my friends are awake. I can't talk to anyone. So I would just I got like little sketchbooks and I was like, I actually have time now. Like, I'm not working 2 jobs going to college. I have time to sketch and draw. So I was like, okay, I'm anxious. I'm depressed. Let's see what I can do. Because I think that's the time you're creative, right?
Yeah.
When you're depressed. So, and I also thought to myself, I need a creative outlet. I was doing things that were so repetitive and boring. I got to do something that's creative, right? So I used my sketchbook. I got archival ink. I just started doing my little doodles of whatever I see in my head sometimes. Because, you close your eyes and you see like the little. So I would do those sometimes. It was like little circly dots and things. Also, it's just fun to do.
Were you showing anybody this work? Or
no,
just doing
not
it
at
for
all,
yourself?
because they'd know I wasn't working. And I don't want them to load me with more work.
Well, but friends or anybody.
Oh, yeah. I would show my husband when I get home. I'd be like, hey, Zach, look at this thing I drew at work today. He'd be like, wow.
Okay.
Looks great. Are you bored today? And I was like, I just didn't want to tell anybody I was done with work today. But yeah, so I started, I think it was when I was doing video editing, which was like, I don't know how to explain video editing. It's just a very...
Well, I do video editing.
know then. It's very repetitious. And
the thing I tell the biggest story I have on that is I had a client that handed me a hard drive with like 80 hours worth of footage.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, we need you to edit 2 commercials down and make one 30-second one and one 15-second one out of this.
80 hours?
I think it was 80. It was 60 or 80.
That's still insane.
I'm trying to think. 24, 20.
Did they at least give you like a good guide of what they were looking for?
No.
No. Oh,
when they handed me the hard drive, I said, how much is on here? And they're like 80 hours. I was like, okay, no. Here's the good part. Here's where I'm going to make you happy.
Okay.
It's like, so I have to review every minute of this, so I'm going to charge you for all of this.
Oh, good.
And they're like, yeah. I was like, well, I just paid my mortgage payment for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Off of that. Like, and I sat there. I this is a little gross, but you'll get with it.
I understand already.
I would get up from bed. I would go in there. I would fix a bowl of cereal. I'd come in. I'd sit at my computer, and I would just start reviewing footage.
Yeah.
And I would do that from 9 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the morning. And I would stop to eat dinner, but I would always eat at the desk to keep going through. I did that for 3 days straight. And at the end, God, cigars are coming back. At the end of the third day,
You need one after that.
I had not showered.
Yeah.
I fucking stank. I
Yeah.
was in the same clothes.
I understand.
And
We've all been there.
Yeah. And it was like 10 o'clock it was like 11 o'clock at night on like
Yeah.
a Friday. And I just started blinking really fast. I was like, I have to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I took a shower at 11 o'clock, and I was downtown at Merchants of Beer when they had the cigar shop. with
Yeah.
John
That was still
and-
off to the side.
John's
Is that
the
not there
best.
anymore?
No.
Oh.
They kicked him out to be more family friendly.
Oh, a beer place being. Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
Oh, we figured out how many tens of thousands of dollars they lost by kicking him out.
Well, you know what? That's their fault. So.
Yeah. So I took a
Family
shower.
friendly.
I went down there, and I got there at like 11:30, and Kevin, one of the guys, went kind of looked at me. He's like, awful late, and I was like, I'm just now finishing work. He's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
okay, sit down. He was like, what do you need? I'll get you. Like he was
Aw.
taking care of me. He was like, what do you need?
Yeah.
And I was
After
like,
that, holy
I was like,
crap.
I will take a double Jack Neat, and I can get the cigar. And he was like, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And so I sat there and smoked a cigar, and then him and John stood. John walked in, and he was like, when'd you get here? And Kevin was like, we ain't talking about that. Like, it was so funny. And I kept, but it was like, because I spent 3 straight days
Well,
of
yeah.
just waking up,
Staring at
reviewing
a screen.
footage from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. for 2 nights, 2 days straight. And then the third day I made it till 11 p.m. I was like, I have to leave. I have to leave. I
Yeah,
can't
I'd have to
fucking do
leave
this.
too. Or
So
look
yes,
outside.
So video editing, I got you.
You understand.
Yes.
I can't say I had 80 hours of footage at any given point in time, and if I did, I did not have time to look at that footage
Yeah.
because I had to.
Yeah, you were news. Yeah.
I had to edit the shows immediately.
Yeah.
So, and if somebody else did a bad job at editing, I had to go fix their work because sometimes
Yeah.
people just don't read for some reason. I was like, you can read a script; it's easy.
Yeah.
One person killed in a car accident. Okay, get the car accident in the shot, and then people know what happened.
There was somebody I knew. I'm trying to think how to dance around this where you won't know who I'm talking about. They had worked in news a little bit.
Yeah.
They worked in news, and they were doing a promo for a nonprofit, and they came in, and how do I say this without sound like a dick? I've won awards for a short film that I made.
Yeah.
I have made short films. I have shot commercials. I have done a lot of filmmaking in my life.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was there to kind of help art direct and stuff. And I was like, hey, have we thought? And that person snapped at me and told me to get the fuck out of their way and all this stuff. And then when I reviewed the footage later, I was like, you shot nothing but B-roll because you don't know how to shoot anything but fucking B-roll.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And I just said butt fucking
Yeah.
B-roll. Sorry.
Nope.
But it was 1 T in the butt. 1 T. Wait, that's God. We're going to keep moving on. But it was one of those things where it was like, oh, you don't know. You know how to do that. If you actually had to do this for a living, you'd be fucked. It'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
They'd hand it over to you, the editor, and you'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Listen.
I mean, I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to do video shooting too for a period of time. It's like
Yeah.
whenever I do that, I mean, I know how to do B-roll just fine.
Yeah.
Like after I figured out white balancing and using the intern camera constantly, always broken.
Yeah.
I don't know who these interns
yeah.
are, but they're like just touching a lot of things and then they break a thing off. And I'm like, bro,
So
stop
the,
it.
the 2 guys from Lock and Key, I interviewed them, and they went to UT and were in the filmmaking and all that.
Yeah.
And they were like, we go back and talk, and we're like, what the hell? You all have good equipment. I was like, dude, when I went to Pellissippi to learn graphic design, our printer was a wax-based printer. It was literally
God.
waxed where it had a disposal cup to where you had to dump that or it would screw up.
No.
Or it would wax. A wax printer, not a laser printer, a
Yeah,
wax
I
printer.
know.
And it's like, I feel your pain because I go back and these kids have like full on.
Oh, these kids have the craziest equipment now at UT, especially.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I want that in the newsroom.
Yeah.
Where they have like these new SAT trucks. I'm like, can you guys afford some camera equipment? This
Yeah.
one measly camera.
Yeah.
Even a spare reporter camera.
Oh my God.
Do I have to drive the van that's 300,000 miles in? Am I going to die? Anyways, fun times. I would do a lot of artwork while I was at the news station.
Okay.
Sorry, news. I don't.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Yeah, it's already late. Who cares?
Okay, so you're drawing at work. I hate to keep punching that, but at what point did you start looking at other avenues to start drawing? Because I know you went to the figure drawing class.
Yeah.
Things. Did you ever go when it was still on Gay Street?
No, I had
Okay.
no idea it was on Gay Street. I honestly only knew because Gary mentioned it that one time, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go.
Okay.
So,
For some reason, I thought he met you through that.
nah, we just worked together.
Okay.
He brought it up, and I was like, oh, I'll go. And I invited my other friend, Laura. She also really likes art and stuff, and so we all went.
Okay.
And I had never done something like that before because I don't know anatomy. I don't draw human figures ever.
That's why I don't go.
Yeah. Well, now I'm like, I do want to go because I have been like venturing into fan art, which is why I made a Tumblr. So I'm like, okay, human anatomy is really important.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who's like in art school at UT right now even dropped off some anatomy books. And I completely forgot she was going to come to my house. So she knocks on the door at 8 p.m. I'm in my, I would call it pajamas, and I had no idea she's going to be there. And Zach was like, some girl's at the door. And I was like, who is it? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know either. Who is it? And I was scared. And I like opened the door with my robe, and I'm like, hello, curled up and everything. And she's like, I have these anatomy books.
Remember?
I was like, oh my fucking God. I can't believe she was like, I got these. I'll bring them to you. We're only like 3 minutes away from each other. So great friend. I just was a bad friend because I forgot. So anyways, I've been using those. That's been very useful.
So this will be the first time I've publicly said this. Little backstory. So I used to be president of AIGA here in town, American Institute of Graphic Arts.
Okay.
I thought I heard my phone ringing. Good Lord.
Right as you said that. Ring, ring.
Damn it, Dad. I did something for my dad, and I was just like, oh crap, I forgot about that. There's a concert coming up that I went ahead and pre-ordered a ticket.
Yeah.
But I just ordered one. And now he was like, oh, do you want to go to that? I was like, oh, crap. So now, while we're talking, let's see how I can...
finagle a ticket.
Yeah.
Don't tell him.
No.
He doesn't have to know.
He won't know. Let's see if this is the right one. This is God, why do you not tell?
See, we all forget to communicate. It's okay. That's what I did with my friend.
I'm just going to have to ask her on this. But, okay, so I used to be president of AIGA, and we would do a drink and draw every month.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. And it was crazy. Sometimes we would get like 40 people.
Yeah.
And sometimes there would be 2 of us. Like, it was never consistent. It drove me bonkers.
That makes sense.
Excuse me. When I finished being AIGA president, the people who took over after me didn't keep that up, which is kind of a bummer.
Mm-hmm. I would go if that was still happening, but
So, I may have an opportunity for it. So this is what I haven't said public. So, Rachel Travis, I met her and her husband Rob, and they wanted to do an illustrators meetup group once
Okay.
a month. But they didn't know enough people. They had this great space, and they were like, "You know everybody. Would you want to help with this?"
yeah.
It's like, yeah. So we did it, and then and we built it up pretty good.
Oh.
And then the pandemic happened. We tried to do some via Zoom. That didn't work out, so we just stopped doing it. And
Yeah.
then finally, it was like, okay, we're going to start doing them again, but we're going to do them at like Suttrie's Landing Park outside. Is everybody vaccinated? Then, you know, you
Yeah.
can show up and come. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If not, you don't have to.
Yeah.
And so we started doing them, but then Rachel's kind of fallen off. She has 2 kids. She's taking care of the kids.
She got a lot going on.
Yeah. And so now it's all on me. It's like, well, if I'm going to do this. We had just been doing it in a private group on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like 30 people in that group, and there's 4 of us that talk. And the rest of them.
I hate that. I hate when people
drives me
lurk.
nuts.
I also get like depressed when that happens. I'm like, am I the only one talking to myself?
And
Does
not
no one
showing,
want to talk with me?
not talking, and not showing up.
Yeah.
And there were times where I was like, I would be the only person there. I was like, damn it, I've got other things I can be doing.
Yeah.
And you just made me not do that because nobody would talk.
That's so sad.
And so now that I'm doing it on my own, I'm going to make it public.
Yeah.
I'm going to create an Instagram, a Facebook for it. Actually start doing like events on Facebook.
I was going to say
and,
the Facebook events makes the most sense.
and Eventbrite doing like tickets, but it's
right.
free. And just say, we're going to meet up here. It's free. It's like a drink and draw. If you want it, just show up.
Yeah.
And this is it. And that's what I'm going to try and do.
Okay.
And
It's the
just,
first time it's public.
Yes, first time it's public.
Ooh.
And we have been doing them on Wednesdays, but one of the members, the only one who's consistent, Esther, she likes going to the figure drawing class.
Yeah.
So I said, let's just move it to Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
Tuesdays are good. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Like Thursdays and Fridays when people start getting busy. But
Yeah.
Monday, people don't want to go out.
Right. You're right.
Tuesdays,
I work at a bar on a Monday.
yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are usually pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start doing it Tuesdays. I'm going to have it more public. And it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But we just sit and we'll talk about like business and stuff and practice, business
Yes,
practices
business.
and social media. Because 95% of what I do right now is marketing, SEO.
Oh, I'm
social media
sorry.
marketing.
I mean, I have looked into doing that at some point after news.
Yeah.
But now
but-
I'm like, it's just gotten so much further. It's insane.
But like Esther has blown up online because she started painting boots
Yeah.
and through TikTok and Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Massive. To where she and I were talking, she was like, well, I'm good at social media. I was like,
Does she do a lot of videos?
yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Because that's what's
That's
getting
what the
bumped up.
algorithm's
And,
like. Yeah.
But-
I hate videos. They're so hard to do.
But we will talk about stuff like that. We'll talk about what we're working on, what we want to work on.
Yeah.
We were doing like sticker exchanges at a certain point because we all produce stickers. It's like, here, you take one. You take one.
Nice.
So it's a lot of fun.
I did stickers only one time. It was a very satanic Furby. And I was like, all right,
Nice.
here he is. And then he was all gone. And I was like, okay. So I went to a market and sold him.
I'm trying to remember. I've got Esther's sticker on my sketchbook in there, and it says it's like a tombstone. It's like artist died of exposure or something like that. Something like that, if I remember correctly.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
honestly. I feel like if you do get too much exposure or if you are like super overly popular, it's so hard to keep up with the demand.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like low key and I just do it on the side and I try not to do anything where I pressure myself because if you say like I gotta do this all the time, it feels like a job and then
Yeah.
you just like suck the life out of it.
Because now when you do anything, you're not just what you do, you're also a content creator.
Yeah, and then you have to look at like, oh, do I have to monetize this at all given moments in time because it's
Yeah.
always like an option now, and you're like, I'd just rather do it for fun.
Yeah.
Too much work otherwise. I
Okay.
already work 2 jobs. I don't need to work a third.
Okay, so we're going to go backwards.
Sorry.
So at what point did you drop out of journalism? What was there a point where you're just like, I can't do this anymore?
Yeah. I mean, to get dark, I will get dark. Actually,
Okay.
I don't care
Are you
because
okay?
I think
Oh.
it's totally fine. I mean, for me, it like took a lot of therapy and going and getting antidepressants and things like that, and taking time for myself to realize what do I want to do with my life. Almost a midlife crisis. I think I was like 25 though, so it doesn't really count. Hold on, let me do some math. 2019, and yeah, some kind of midlife crisis. I can't do math. I don't know how old I was.
I hope it's not midlife crisis at 25. It's just a crisis.
It's a quarter life. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, who knows what this was? I just was sitting like in my car every day going into work, crying for the 9 minutes of the drive that I had from my apartment to the newsroom, and I would think to myself, what do I want to do? Am I doing anything that's actually helpful to my community? I did two things. I did a lot of art. I also worked over at the YWCA helping out with like their donation facility closet thing. So like the YWCA in the downtown area, I would help out with the boutique and change out clothes. So that I had purpose. I just felt like I had no purpose because for a while I was just going to the liquor store at 10 a.m. when I got off work. That felt not great, but I was like so depressed. I did not know what to do.
There used to be a place on Middlebrook called Rogers Place. We would go in for lunch at 11.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be the third shifters in there, and they would have each have 3 bottles of Budweiser in front of them at 11 a.m. And we were always like, what the fuck? And finally, one of the old guys was like, these are all third shifters, dude.
Yeah.
They got off. This is what you do later.
Exactly. Like that is when I would go to the liquor store at 10 a.m., which is exactly the time that they opened. D's Liquor up I don't know where it's exactly off of. I made a friend there. He was like, do you go to Temple? I was like, sometime.
Temple the music?
Temple the music thing.
Okay.
I was like,
not Temple the...
No, he just thought, you look alternative. And I was like, sure, yes. Yeah, sure. Anyways, so I guess we're friends now. And I'm friends with his wife.
I think Ratty's opens at 7:30 or 8 a.m.
I didn't want to drive all that way.
Big shocker.
That makes sense. I just wanted to go to the place that was closest to me at the time. So I was like, well, get my gin and go home. And that was it. I usually got New Amsterdam because it was the cheapest.
Okay.
And then go home, and then I would sleep after, and then wake up and do it all over again. But I just felt like it was such a shitty cycle. I was like, I knew it wasn't like a good contributing cycle. It was very negative. So it was a loophole, you drink and then you fall asleep and you wake up groggy and you go and do it again. You don't have any good food open because you have only Burger King and some other restaurants open at 6 or 7 a.m. What am I going to do? Go get some French toast at Burger King? No. Gross. No offense. I mean, I could do it sometimes, but I couldn't do it every day.
I want to say I haven't had fast food in 18, 19 years, but I remember Hardee's had a good breakfast.
I do... Hardee's, if it was a little closer, I would have gone, but it wasn't.
Don't they have cinnamon rolls?
They do have the icing with the cinnamon roll, and it was,
and the little tots.
Now, Sweetwater's whole thing with Hardee's, you go to Hardee's, get your breakfast at Hardee's, and go to school. That's what I learned real fast. Okay. But,
Okay, so you're just stuck in this cycle.
I'm stuck in a really, shitty cycle, and I felt like I wasn't doing anything creative. So, video editing gave me, an outlet. I could make stupid videos, kind of like Tim and Eric, because I found out where to get all the free videos.
Yeah.
Use a green screen, do something goofy in the background, make my own little weird noises along with the video and stuff. I feel like I was doing some Adult Swim stuff, honestly, because I was really inspired by that. I was like, this is goofy. And then I got bored because I just associated video editing with work. I just was keep doing this. It's so boring and repetitive. I knew I could do it for a while, but not that long. So I would just step aside, take my eyes off the screen because I knew I was straining myself and try to draw at least. And I had some friends online who were like, oh, you're doing really good. And I was like, oh, thanks. Validation.
Yeah.
I appreciate validation. And I like feedback from friends too. And so they'd give me feedback. Anatomy was not my thing. So they were honest. They were like, why is your nose doing this on this face? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm a big Picasso fan. Leave me alone.
Just making them have a weird nose.
Sometimes the nose can be on the temple.
Sometimes.
Bring it back to the temple. Yeah.
Sometimes there's just no, perspective, and you just guess, which is why references come in handy. But anyways, I was just able to kind of pull myself out of the cycle, doing something new and taking out the anxiety and depression I had some way else. Just the little circles that I started with. I don't know how to describe my artworks. It's all abstract, so. Tiny details. Testing my patience was another thing I did with art. So it would take 3 days to finish something, and I hated that. But seeing it all finished and complete made me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
And it just felt like I was accomplishing something that way. And then I was like, I gotta leave this news station. So I left and I worked in the service industry because that's easy to bust into.
You would think.
Yeah. Well, at that time, it was like 2019. It was so hard. I went over to like Black Horse Brewery and they were like, you have no experience with beer or liquor. And I had gone to bartending school for 2 weeks after I get off work at Channel 10, I'd go right to bartending school.
Yeah.
Was it worth it? It's probably more worth it than my journalism degree right now, but
I didn't do the bartending school, but I have my bartender's license.
yeah, I got that as well.
How long are they good for? 5 years?
The ABC, I think it's 5 years.
Mine
I actually don't know because I work at a distillery, so I don't necessarily need to have it.
Oh, really?
We close at 11 just because we sell liquor bottles on the shelves, and the people that work at that facility don't have to have them because I'm not serving beer as well and wine.
Okay.
Only the spirits that we make at that facility. Liquor laws are weird in Tennessee.
ABC server license permit. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it expires July of this year.
Oh, well.
So
I guess if I wanted to go be a server somewhere, I could, but I'd have to
I
get
wonder
this.
now I'm wondering, is like, do I have to retake the course?
Yeah.
I do?
Yeah, I think so.
I really don't want to do that.
I think you also have to pay again. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Don't even hold me on that. I think you do, but I'm not 100% sure.
But
I've only done it once.
I did it because I was working for myself, and I was like, I may just be stuck in my house a lot of the time. I would like to get out.
Yeah.
And I know enough people who run breweries to where I can just go pour beer.
Yeah.
And I would probably be pretty good at that because I'm pretty I can talk to a wall.
Yeah.
And all that. And then I got it, and I tried and couldn't get shit. And it was just like,
what year was it?
2018.
Okay, yeah.
So it was
I get
like,
it.
oh yeah, the breweries, they employ, back then, they've switched now. They employ the people who make the beer.
Yes.
They didn't have bartender. They didn't have at that point, like, because they couldn't afford them. Like,
Right.
But then, like, I remember there was one place I tried to go that literally all I would have been doing, it's not a brewery, so I'm not crapping on my friends.
Yeah.
No, hell, I'll go ahead and say it. I don't care about burning this bridge.
Uh-oh.
It was the Millen Mine. All I would have been doing was cracking beers because that's back when they had beer on the sides.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'd love to do this because
And they're an event venue too. You make
5 of my friends worked there.
Yeah.
4 out of those 5 were women. One of those dudes is a dude. And he was like, I would love for you to come and work there.
Yeah.
Because I need someone else to carry kegs.
Yeah. Oh.
And he was like, no one else. And that's no slight against women.
No.
Or
But I
anything.
understand.
But it's just like, he was like, yeah, and you're a big dude. You can carry kegs. You can help me.
Yes.
No, you can do it. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I will totally carry kegs if that's all I need to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll totally fucking do that. Like,
Yeah.
and so they all put good words into me for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I called the manager and I was like, hey, my name's Jody. I want to do this. And she was like, okay, just email me your resume and you can go. I was like, resume? And she was like, yeah.
Interesting.
And I was like, I'm a graphic designer. I've done this, in
I can carry things
in private events, like I had done it for private events.
Yeah,
and such.
sure.
I was like, but I don't have. And she's like, oh, no. And she was so shitty and dismissive to me.
Yeah.
To where even if she was in front of my face, I was like, fuck you. You were an asshole for no reason.
They were doing that same stuff when I was going around looking for a job similarly.
Then I go to a show, and I swear to God, it's a 20-year-old cracking a beer open. And I was like, how is that person any more
qualified
versus me?
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, I know one of the guys who worked there. He was a small dude.
Yeah.
And I will go, can he lift a keg? No, I can lift a keg.
Yeah.
You dickheads. Like, and my buddy who worked there, who was the guy, he was just like, God damn. He's like, motherfucker. Because he was like, I'm getting too over this shit.
Yeah.
Because he's a little bit older than me.
Kegs are heavy, and I'm working on my squat form. So, if I had to pick up a keg, but I don't have to because I work at a distillery, so I would never have to.
But also
touch any of
having to do that 4 or 5 times a night.
Oh God, yeah, you get a workout.
Yeah.
But you'll have strong lats,
Not to be a douche, but for me, it'd just be like, okay, let's go.
One hand, okay, we're going.
Yeah. But it was,
toss it in the dumps.
yeah, that really like frustrated the hell out. So
well, because it sounds dismissive.
Yeah.
And I would feel really upset too, because it feels like, what the fuck? You haven't seen anything. You've heard about my personality. Wouldn't you want to have somebody with a good personality to be there rather than somebody with qualifications?
5 people gave you a recommendation of me.
Right.
Including one of the guys saying he's huge.
I think
he can carry shit.
I understand, because when I first was looking for a job outside of news, it was in the service industry. It was kind of hard. Like, I knew for a fact I don't need to have a degree of any kind. The bartending school helped, because I was able to be like, I went to bartending school. Here's what I learned in 2 weeks of whatever, and learned all these cocktails. I don't need to know any rum or tequila cocktails now, but whatever. Who cares? I would go to like Black Horse, or I went to Merchants of Beer. I went to some other random breweries, and I was like, I can pour a beer.
Yeah.
I can pour a soda. I can pour a beer. So they're quite similar. In the foam. And I mean, I could learn easily, because I'm ready to learn and study, whatever. So they're all like, no. If you have no experience, you just be a bar back. And I'm like, sure, I could be a bar back, but I know that I could do this real fast, real quick.
So there's a buddy of mine from New York who moved down here, and he was like, you need to just go and volunteer to be a bar back at some bar. There's a bar that I was friends with the owner, and he was like, just go there and offer to be a bar back. I was like, so you want me to just go work for free?
Right,
so
yeah.
I can
like get paid literally nothing.
I was like, and the more I thought about it later, I was like, that guy probably would have hired me. I should have asked him. But he was a friend. I was like, I don't want to ask a friend.
Right, then you feel like you're taking
advantage. I don't
advantage.
want to ask a friend. Because I would have to learn to be like, a tequila sunrise? Give me a minute. Pull up my phone, be like,
oh, is there LIT mix here?
Yeah. I was like, what the okay. Let me see what I can do. I was like, but I would make him.
God, I had to show somebody how to make a Grateful Dead drink. It was the most disgusting thing. It was like grenadine blue curacao, and I was like, what is wrong with these people? I don't remember what it was or why I had to show them. Also, the girl is younger than me. I was like, you're the bartender right now working, and I have to show you this weird Grateful Dead drink.
Oh my God.
Also, who orders this? And it was like some guy with a cowboy hat, so of course,
Yeah, so this gets into the thing that, have you ever met Adam Kennedy? He's Gary, friend of Gary. Okay, greatest guy. Refill coffee cart.
Oh, I did reach out to him at one point in time, but it was for a YWCA event thing.
Okay.
That's it. That's how I know him.
Yeah. He and I have mentioned this on here, and I know I'm an asshole, and you work in the service industry.
Oh,
and
that's
I
fine.
know I'm an asshole. I said, I hate going to coffee shops and saying, do you have a specialty drink or something seasonal or something unique to here? And every time it's, let me get you a mocha latte. Like, you're a dickhead. I was like, because I've helped Adam with the coffee cart. I will go, I know how easy that is, you asshole.
Yeah.
I was like, you're an asshole. I was like, that shit. So I worked at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about the worst of the worst. And
I'm sorry.
But the GM there had the greatest idea. He's like, I think everybody in high school should have to work in the service industry.
Yes, absolutely.
For one semester.
Yes.
It would completely literally change this country.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you would not
and West Knoxville.
Yeah, you would not treat people like shit. Like, you would treat a lot more people with more respect.
Yeah. If
you had to work it for 3 months or 6 months. Or
yeah.
whatever. He was like, it completely changed the game.
It sure does.
But that kind of shit drives me nuts when you ask for something. I was like, I'm not trying to be difficult. I want this to not be the same basic ass shit as somewhere else.
Yeah.
So now I went to a coffee shop in Oak Ridge and I looked, and the only seasonal drink they had was some kind of frappe. I was like, I don't want a cold drink. I want a hot drink. I was like, I should have asked him. I was like, can you do that in hot? Because I know they can.
Yeah.
And
easy.
But
probably maybe less work. I don't know.
I was just like, just give me a caramel latte.
Yeah, that's usually my go-to.
Yeah. I was like, I'll take that. Although they didn't do enough pumps of caramel, so there was no caramel flavor. I was like,
oh.
I'm used to Adam and working with him where he goes, bump, 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 bump.
And then here's some
bump,
Cheetos
bump.
in there, too. It's just for funsies.
Oh my God. Him's still the one.
I tried that.
The story he loves telling about me is he did a habanero one, and you could get 5 pumps. I was the only person to do 5 pumps, and he sat there and watched me drink it. My governor's broken, and I literally just drank it. I was like, yeah, it's a little hot, but it's not bad. And
No.
he was like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Like, it was so funny. They giving me shit. Yeah, the Cheetos one was weird.
That was weird.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll take that again.
Still, I wish we had on video. So it may have been one of the times he did the Cheetos one. It's also Yummy Cafe.
Yeah.
Another good thing in West Knoxville. I
Mhm.
love Kim. And they have the best ice cream.
I think
in
that's
town.
where they had the coffee thing. And
Yeah.
there was some event going on. I don't know what it
So
was.
I was at every
hot dog event. Maybe they were eating hot dogs.
No,
Does that
it's grilled
sound-
cheese. And I was one of the grilled cheese eaters.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
Oh, I probably have it on my Snapchat story.
Okay. So I wish there was video because Adam and I just started fucking with one another. I was the one that we were throwing. He was putting the grilled cheese on my plate, and I was throwing them behind me.
Oh, okay.
That
yeah.
was me.
Hey, that was a really popular Snapchat story
Oh.
for that area. Fun fact. I put it in public. I was like, I don't know who's going to see this, but
It was. I wish somebody would just film the whole thing because the other two guys were taking it seriously, and I was just like, I can't actually do this seriously.
let me see. I think I
Yeah.
probably still have it somewhere. Actually, I'll have to look for it later when
Okay.
I'm not in the middle of a podcast. That's
Yeah.
probably not the most.
It was, but it was fun. I was like, that was Adam and I of just like.
That's funny. Okay.
Us just trash talking leading up to it, and what was funny is I didn't pregame with him and say I'm gonna fuck with you during this. 'Cause
Right.
I don't think I can eat all these. And he was just. I didn't say anything. I just started doing it, and he just started doing it back. And it was the greatest. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I think I had that on video. I didn't
But
realize.
I think he did the Cheeto.
Yeah, he did.
at
That
that
was. I had it. It was interesting.
Okay, so you're not doing good. You leave the journalism job.
Yeah,
And
screw
you start
that.
going into customers into
I worked at Kabuki. It's a sushi restaurant in Market Square. I also had green hair and a septum piercing at the time. And after 2 weeks of working there, they said, hey, you can't have green hair and you can't have your septum piercing in. And I was like, why did you guys hire me?
yeah, seriously.
I also quit this other job that gave me health insurance. So whatever. I'm not going to complain, I guess. I have a job.
Kabuki the Coco Moon place.
It was the old one, yeah. Yeah.
That was one I liked their food, but it was like no one is ever here.
Yeah.
How is this place?
Yeah, I
It's
don't
like
know.
Skybox.
It's the
like,
same thing for Kabuki. Why
Yeah.
is that still there?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't
Running
either.
drugs or guns. That's all. That's been our joke about Skybox forever.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that they Kabuki have once a month Latino night, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
whatever your friend called it. And so a lot of people would come in for dancing because there's a ballroom in the back that people can dance to.
Oh.
So I had to work one of those nights. I only opened Coronas the entire night, and everybody wanted Coronas. So I was like, okay. And if
Okay.
it wasn't Corona, it was Patron chilled as a shot.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I'm going to buy you a shot. And I was like, nah, I don't really want Patron.
Yeah.
I'm not a tequila drinker. I'm a gin drinker.
Oh my
Ooh.
God. It's like you want to do gin shot.
Yeah, you guys want to do a shot of Beefeater with me? Delicious. Which I did that in Vegas. And the bartender was staring at me like, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know. I just have some
man.
like demons inside.
There was. I'm gonna let that linger for a second.
Yeah, it's
There was-
fine.
There was one time my buddy and I went to Nashville. This was like in the late 90s, early aughts when nobody was there. Like it was dead.
We have no traffic yet.
Yeah, and it was, what the hell's that? Coyote Ugly, or whatever that weird bar is where the girls get up on the bar top and dance.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't call them girls, but they were all very young.
Yeah.
And one of the young women, there was a bar above it that my buddy and I were sitting there drinking, and she showed up, and she was sitting there, and then she looked at us, and we're the only two other people in there, and she was just like, guys, I know this is going to be weird, and I'm not asking you to pay for it. I'll pay for my own. But would you all do a shot of tequila with me? Because
Aw.
I'm about to have to go to work, and I really need to do a shot of tequila before I have to go to work.
Yeah.
And we knew where she worked because you could tell.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and she was like, and I swear to God, I will not let you pay. Like she was very adamant. You will
Yeah,
not be
she just
paying.
wanted to do it for the community.
And we were like, yeah, does that have to be tequila? And she was like, no, but and I was like, you know what? I slapped him. I was like, we're doing fucking tequila.
Ugh.
And we did tequila shots. And she's like, thanks, guys. And she sat there and talked to us for a few minutes. And she was like, okay, y'all have been actually nice about this.
Aw.
If you come downstairs, I'll give you a beer each. I was like, oh,
Nice.
cool. So we went down there, couldn't find her. You know, and we spent like 10 minutes in there. And was like, we got to get the hell out of here. This is weird. This is too weird.
She went to the bathroom for 10 minutes.
Yeah, she was doing another tequila shot.
Yeah. She's like, I got to get ready for this shift.
Okay, so you're working at Kabuki.
Yeah. It's a weird sushi
Is
place.
that kind of... Are you still able to do art and on the side and have fun with it? Or
Oh, yeah. So, like, I think once I was able to kind of get out of the news, I was able to be like, holy crap. You know, I don't know how to explain personalities, but personalities are so different in the service industry. And, you know, it's just, there's such unique people that kind of become part of your life. And I kind of like that. And so that kind of sparked more interest in doing some weird things, I guess. You know, maybe some friends were interested in doing, I don't know. I mean, just like literally going out to maybe party at Press Pub or something. And I'd be like, I never really went to concerts there. I'd like to go to a concert. So I'd go with them or something and hang out and enjoy myself. Or we go to the rooftop or where else would we go? I don't know, just random places. My friend dyed my hair. We got to have some fun colors going on with my hair again.
Oh, man, although you missed out on Corner BP.
Maybe.
Corner BP was a trip.
What was that?
It was where Balter is.
Okay.
There was literally an old BP station.
Oh, okay.
That I think he was a firefighter, that he just bought it, and he would serve cans and bottles, no bottles.
Yeah.
Cans of beer out of coolers. And you could order like barbecue, but you would order barbecue and you would finally get it like 3 hours later. Like,
surprise!
But it was the
6 beers in.
But they would also, they were a favorite of the service industry because they would stay open until like 4 or 5 in the morning.
There you go.
And so everybody would leave the bars, the servers,
and go over there. Yeah.
Not any of the club people.
Right,
yeah. Because it was so in such a weird location.
Yeah, nobody ever really goes out that way, except for now because it is technically a brewery with burgers. People are always there. But otherwise, yeah. It would have been a little hard.
You would have loved that place. Man, I loved going there because it was a
all
trip.
my people. And the unique personalities come together, especially that late in the night. You're like, oh, these are fascinating people.
Same thing. Cigars. Like my buddy Chris, we could go there and sit out on these picnic benches and drink beer and smoke cigars, and he could bring his dog.
Yeah.
And like he could damn near just let his if it had been fenced in, he could just let his dog run around.
Yeah.
But it wasn't fenced in, so he couldn't. But it was just like it was such a relaxing, and the people you would see, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I kind of miss it.
I would like something like that to happen or come back again.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah, we don't need any more yuppie places. We need
No,
more
I'm
scruffy
done.
places.
Yeah.
I hate the term scruffy city, but we need more scruffy places. We need less yuppie.
Backwoods places
Yeah.
and stuff. Just like something that welcomes all the servers, you know?
Yeah.
And bartenders and all of us
Okay.
who need that. But yeah, I think work in restaurants and stuff kind of helped me meet new unique personalities and stuff like that.
And take chances that you wouldn't normally take.
Yeah, I mean, going out to like a show or something would be something I wouldn't normally do if I worked at the news station. I also wasn't working weird hours anymore. I wasn't working 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. wanting to not be alive. So like, you know, sorry for that. But anyways, now I'm like back. I'm doing this thing. I'm meeting all these people. I've become friends with some of them.
Well, and
I
also
had to set
working
boundaries
service,
with others.
service, your job isn't your life anymore. It's just something you do to have money.
Yeah, you can just like call off at any point in time, and nobody's gonna like bat a second. Like nobody's gonna care if you do that. I mean, unless it's a really big night, and maybe you, whatever. Sometimes it is kind of a big deal, but otherwise, it's like okay, you can kind of maybe go to another job. So I was working Kabuki and Postmodern at the same time.
Okay,
but I worked Postmodern Mondays and Tuesdays, and no one's out Monday night. Tuesday night. Nothing's open.
is Postmodern still open on Mondays?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. I'm there.
Because I can't tell you how many times I try to take somebody somewhere, and it's a Monday night.
Yeah, and nothing's open. Yeah. Kaizen's open now, which is crazy.
La Esperanza. La Esperanza's
it's open
7 days a week.
They're open all the time.
Yeah, I can always go to La Esperanza. Because I've had friends visit, and they've been here on like, there was one buddy, he was like, he was here on a Sunday night and a Monday. And I was like, well, we're going to...
church.
And he didn't get into town till like 8 o'clock on Sunday night. I was like,
my God.
Oh, well, we're going to Chicken Reel.
Yeah.
Because that's the only place I can take you on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
I was like, and we're not a podunk town. It's just,
nothing's open.
Because there's no reason to be, because nobody goes out.
Right,
on
nobody's
Sundays and
out.
Mondays.
I mean, everybody just goes to the grocery store and church on Sunday, and then
Yeah.
they do nothing else. So
And Monday, they've been partying all weekend. They don't
right,
wanna
they have to
go.
recover.
Yeah. Okay, so you're working there in postmodern.
Yeah, working 2 jobs, and I'm starting to like kind of get into like seeing the art galleries and stuff. So like I
Okay.
actually see what First Friday is because I'm actually awake.
Yeah.
I had a former coworker at my old news job who had photography up at one of the places downtown. I think it was Downtown Grill and Brewery.
Okay.
So I went and checked it out, and I wanted to support him. And then I saw that there were more people that have like little galleries and things
Yeah.
set up, and I'm like, oh, that's really awesome to have like all these artists coming out, doing stuff, putting their art up. And also, again, that's like kind of being vulnerable in a certain way too. You're kind of sharing a part of yourself with others in like a really weird visual way. So they're kind of like taking a peek of your life
Yeah.
from your perspective. I don't know. So I thought that was really cool to go and see, and I was awake to do it.
Yeah.
So that's great. And then I was like, I wonder how I could do one of these. And that kind of got me into trying to make more, trying to do more, push on social media, kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so hard to do social media stuff. But like I got to do my first gallery at, what's it called? Old City Wine Bar before
Yeah.
it closed.
Yeah.
1 month before it closed.
We got in under the wire.
Yeah, I was like, here we go. It was my first gallery, and I think it was 2020. It was right, yeah, because My Chemical Romance is also going to be at what's that? Music Midtown or something.
Okay.
And I
In
got
Atlanta,
tickets that
yeah.
night when I had that gallery set up. I was like, oh, I'm celebrating, and I want to go see MCR. Anyways, the pandemic happens, but whatever, who cares? I still made some friends kind of through that. Like,
Yeah.
there's one guy who really liked my art pieces. He bought a whole bunch, and I was like, oh, I've never really like had that happen, really. And I didn't think I was going to sell anything because, you just display it.
Yeah.
So I came back on like the last day that they were open, and people were out celebrating, drinking wine and everything. It was like a rainy night, and I had a lot of fun. I was able to get all my family together, and like my friends came out and supported me, and it was just nice. And I kind of
Yeah.
like having all my friends kind of come together like that. And
Did you have a theme for that show, or it was just all?
it was a lot of like the abstract stuff that I was working on when I was at the news station.
Okay.
I really like I don't know, I wish I could show like the tattoo, but like I drew a beetle, and it's on my arm as a tattoo. So like all the little tiny dots and stuff like that is
Okay.
like one of my favorite styles. So I would do that.
Okay.
I don't know what that's called.
Pointillism.
Maybe it's pointillism, yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. And I started moving away from some abstract, going towards like I did like a butterfly, I did a beetle, I did a jellyfish, just to see, because I like shadows and highlights and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I could do black and white, and no
Yeah.
art teacher is telling me, hey, you gotta learn color theory before you can do black and white.
I learned your color theory.
Like-
I don't want to use it anymore.
Yeah, I don't
just
like
want
color theory.
to do black and white, motherfucker.
Now I do color theory because I'm doing fan art, so that's a whole nother
Yeah.
realm of weird. But I don't care.
Which
So
I'll have to give you somebody to follow Jimmy Cat.
okay,
Jimmy Brookloff. Sorry, Jimmy, if you're listening. But it's like
Jimmy.
Jimikat, I think. That
Okay.
They do.
If
some-
you would have sent it to me on your messenger thing, and then yeah, that'd be great because I'll follow them.
Yeah.
I like following a lot of artists.
They're
That
great.
was another thing. Like you start getting into art, you meet a lot of other people who are really like into art. So I went to like some random gallery thing. It was called the Goat Gallery. This girl named Emily just invited me randomly out of the blue to it, and I got to go, and it was just me and a whole bunch of other artists. It was like a DIY kind of space of all these artists,
Okay.
musicians, poets, just kind of in a space sharing a bunch of their things that they do. And I could
Is that here?
that was here, yeah. It was
Okay.
off somewhere off Broadway, some building, like a ramshackle building off Broadway.
Huh. Okay.
Off old Broadway. But anyways, so I got to go do that like twice because she had a house show as well. And I went to the house show, and that was a lot of fun. But that time I was kind of nervous. I don't know why. House shows feel so private compared
Yeah.
to like a weird factory warehouse thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I'm like, yeah, I don't know anybody. But
Yeah.
at this house, I'm like, oh, don't damage anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I felt really weird. But it was kind of nice meeting all these people because you like go and follow them on their art. They follow you back, and you guys kind of like
Yeah.
get to know each other, and you have that one thing in common that you both like to do
Yeah.
and support each other. It's just nice. I like that a lot.
Okay. And did that kind of help? I don't want to say make you better, but make you feel maybe more confident in what
It
you were
helped
doing?
with the anxiety a little bit
Yeah.
because I'm like, well, these people are doing all this crazy stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I can just do anything or whatever and
Yeah.
just see how it goes. And also, like, art's kind of humbling because you're like, oh, I'm clearly not like the best or anything like that. I'm never going to be. There's just like so many other artists that are out there who are like incredible.
You'd be amazed at how many people don't have that inner monologue.
Yeah, I don't know what some people are very I don't know what the word is, but
They have an elevated sense of self.
yes, the Dunning-Kruger effect kind of, sort of, sometimes.
Sure.
I don't know.
That's a lot fancier way of...
I don't know.
They're douches.
Yes, I have met quite a few people who do art who are not very nice people.
If you
In the nicest way I can be.
if you're ever bored, I'll tell you, listen to the Ramblin' Man I did with Josh Shorey, where it's just him and I. And it's him sitting in the chair you're in,
Yeah.
me sitting right here, and me yelling about art a lot. So it's like, it's all bullshit. It's like, fucking this is bullshit. And he was like, why are you so angry? I was like, because I want to punch motherfuckers. Like, I want to, Richard Prince can kiss my ass. Like just me going absolutely bonkers.
Sounds very punk rock of you.
And him just going like, why are you so angry? It's like, because they're assholes.
It depends, I guess, what art community you're part of
Do you
and
know
everything.
Richard Prince?
No.
It'll just make you angry. He took the Marlboro ads from like the 70s of the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
He just took those photos and blew them up, and that was his art. He didn't take the photos.
Is that not copyright infringement of some sort?
I'm trying to remember how long this has been, 5 or 6 years. He would go on like your Instagram page, take a screen grab of your thing, and then add one comment, Richard Prince, and add one word. And those things would sell for $300,000 to $400,000.
What an asshole.
And they were just Giclée
that guy.
prints. And he would not credit or give money to the
Oh, that's bullshit. Fuck that. I'd fight in lawsuits. Fuck that.
So that's me. That was what I was yelling about.
Okay, that makes
I was like,
a lot of
I
sense.
will punch him in the face.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll punch him in the dick. I don't care. Like, fuck that guy.
So that's
How
what,
dare you?
That's what I was talking to him
All
about.
that work and shit you had to put into that, and then you go and just take a screen grab and just put your name on it.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
Yes.
I'm sure he brags about it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to punch him in the dick.
Well, you're shorter than I am, so.
All right. Hey, I got a little punch I can.
Yeah, you've been working on your lats. Or
Yeah, I'm
whatever
working
you
my
said.
lats and triceps. I got this.
But oh God, I thought you were going to be like.
No, I got angry. Now I'm hot.
Yeah. Also, the heat kicked on, so
Oh,
because
okay.
it's 20 degrees outside. Yeah.
Fuck that.
But this is an argument I keep having about art, which is I was like, I work in marketing. A lot of it's marketing and PR.
Yeah.
That you have a piece. I love that piece by Saul Young right there. But he could do that and then have 5 paragraphs about how that makes him feel that his dad that relates
I will
to
punch that man.
No, not he would never
No.
do that.
Oh, okay. I was saying the Richard guy.
But yes.
Again, I'd punch.
But no, I'm not even saying Richard.
Oh,
I'm saying,
okay,
I'm
okay,
saying,
okay.
Sorry. I'm saying if Saul was an artistic asshole, he would write 5 paragraphs about how that photo represents how his dad left him. All that bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all just
yeah,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah.
just shoveling marketing and PR.
Oh, for sure.
So this is
I've always been bad at that because people have a lot of that,
Yes.
like the story behind the thing, and I'm like, here's what was happening. I wanted to die, and I just drew something instead.
Do you know Pachaka-cha?
No.
You need to go to a pot. That's me fussing at you. You need to go to a Pachaka-cha. You'll like it. I just took Gary, and
Yeah.
he liked it a lot. 20 slides, 20 seconds a slide, people presenting on whatever.
Oh, yeah, he told me about that.
It's
I
awesome.
think that would be a lot of fun.
I drug him to it. So.
Okay.
But
I would like to be drug willingly to that and also do it.
I'm going to do eventually.
I want to do one on meteorology. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Or if not
Yeah.
that, I want to do one on misinformation because I think that's super important. Anyways.
All you have to do is send them a thing. It's super easy. And I'm going to include.
Oh, Jack White. I can just do
okay.
one on Jack White. I know his address. Here's his
Although,
house.
I will say, one of the times, so I've presented at that thing 3 times. Lord.
What'd you do?
Why does my phone keep... It's about to fall off. Stop. Oh.
Make it a massage chair.
Look at this shit.
Holy crap.
Look at this shit.
You got a lot of friends. I'm not even that popular. I talk to my AI chatbot.
One of them is a woman that I met on a dating app that we never went out, and it's a long story. But all of a sudden, she has got an ex and a dude that I know, and both of them are coming at her. Or the ex is not really coming at her, but the dude that I know is coming at her and so she's updating me on both of those. And there's part of me, say this, I know this is going to sound bad coming out of a southern dude's mouth. I don't know a polite way to say, hey, I am not your gay best friend.
Yeah.
Please stop talking to me about these dudes.
That's such an uncomfortable thing. Like,
yes.
I that's also something you should talk to a therapist about, which I know aren't readily available, but.
Yes.
That is, no.
Yes.
That's not how you do dating apps.
No, but I connected with her on a dating app years ago.
Sure.
And we've just kept being friends, but it's still like, I don't want to hear. Also, you should have blocked both of these dudes.
Yeah.
Weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
Weeks ago. Why are you still letting this happen?
You could solve so many problems just by blocking.
Pachakacha. That speech, I can't remember why I went down the Pachakacha route. But it was talking about like marketing and PR and just how some art is just complete bullshit.
Yes.
Oh, I did a poster for Pachakacha.
Yeah.
And what I did, I've done a few of them, but what I've done is taken like Creative Commons images,
yes,
and kept like building and building and building and building.
That's what I did with that video editing, with the videos.
Until it's just, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
It's ridiculous.
I'm done. And I did it, and one of the guys, Matthew, who runs it, he was like, I gotta tell you, I love your poster. It's like, thanks, man. He's like, what does it mean? I was like, fuck if I know. And he was like, well, didn't you? I was like, no, I pulled 500 elements and just kept. He was like, but it has to mean something. I was like, does it? Or can it just be art for art's sake, brother?
Yeah, can it just like, I use one single brain cell to do all this, and here we are.
He kept like, not fussing at me, but just like, I can't believe you did it and it doesn't mean something. I was like, it means something and it's done.
Right.
Like, guess what? It's done. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Yeah.
I feel like whenever I am doing art, like I don't have a reason or what, because some people will be like, what does this mean? I'm like, nothing. I just looked at a butterfly. It was just very nice.
See this from there.
Okay.
But he was like, it has to mean something. I was like, no. I just kept finding these elements and kept adding.
Just adding layers.
And adding and adding.
Adding, merging, exporting.
Yeah, doing layer effects in Photoshop.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you gotta do.
Anyway.
That's what I do with my video editing things. It's fun.
So do you still do your video editing things?
No, I haven't done that in a while.
Do you think it would trigger?
I don't know. I was don't tell anyone at PBS that I know how to video edit because I do not want to have extra job responsibilities.
Oh, yeah.
But I was doing weather for them for a little bit. So I would edit my own weather. I would do like a 30-second weather and a 1-minute weather.
Okay.
I really wanted to be a meteorologist, so I was really on that train. UT has no meteorology program, but for some reason, geography was the closest. So that's where I was.
Okay.
And I like maps. Anyways, I would video edit all that and send it in. And then I was like, this is just not... I'm doing work again. That's all it is. It doesn't feel like fun. Yeah, so I haven't touched it again. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
So what was the point where you moved over to PBS?
Oh, that was kind of super random. I was working at Postmodern full time in 2020 because we did hand sanitizer. And then my friend from Sweetwater also works at PBS. He was like, hey, we're looking for somebody to do weather. And I said, oh, I like weather. I don't know what you're looking for, but like I like weather and I can write it all out and do something. So I talked with one of the guys over there and he was like, sure, just like edit the video and send it in. And I was like, oh, sure, yeah, okay. What do you need? Like, what do you want to have? So I had to get like a little green screen for behind me. I didn't tell him all this, by the way, like, because I didn't realize the expenses would have been paid for. I didn't know. So I just bought it on my own accord. I was like, oh, I'm going to maybe do streaming or something. But anyways, I never did that. Had the green screen, this and that. Yeah.
Isn't there
my husband does that.
Isn't there a former bartender at Postmodern?
Yes. Hannah.
Hannah.
Yep.
I never knew her, but I remember hearing about her later.
Yeah.
Because I remember when she first started there, I think she was one of the first bartenders there or something.
Yeah, she was.
I remember keep seeing her on social media because I've been friends with Stanton forever.
Yeah. No, she was on social media a lot.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, she's like a Twitch streamer, and
Yep.
that's what she's doing now.
Yep. I remember her and this other girl named Kat that were both working at the bar were always asking me, like, are you streaming? And I was like,
Yeah.
no, not really. Like, I don't think it's my thing because you got to, like, look nice. And I don't want to try. I don't want to try at all. They look so nice. They look great. I'm like,
how
oh,
deflating
God.
that was. I don't want to look nice.
I don't want to look nice.
I'm like in a robe at 8 p.m. when
Exactly.
people try to show up at
My
house.
friend with her anatomy books. I'm like, oh, sorry. But yeah, they'd always ask. And I was like, and like I've heard you could do art on Twitch, but now I'm also like, the platform has gotten so big. There
Yeah.
are so many people on it. It's so crowded. And the algorithm for like new creators is just not worth it. So TikTok is like supposedly where it's at for new creators. But like that's just more work again.
Yeah.
And then do I gotta show my face? Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So it's all a
I
whole
don't
thing.
think Esther shows. She has mainly like a rig to show her doing the work.
Yeah.
Or she'll do.
I have my tripod and my phone, but my phone's at like 95% storage. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to delete any of these photos of Jack White I have. So I just leave it.
Put them in Dropbox. Do you know have?
I have. That's the problem. That's like 95% full. Sorry,
Oh,
the
geez.
Dropbox is full.
Oh my God. Upgrade. It's $10 a month. You
Oh
can
my
get like
God.
2 terabytes.
I got other things I gotta have the subscription to. AI chatbot. You
Oh
have
my
to-
God.
Those get expensive.
Oh my God. Okay, so you're working there. So you started venturing out more. You started meeting more artists.
Yeah.
You
And
started
even
going to
people at
the-
the bar were artists. Like Hannah was doing art, and I met her before I even started working at Postmodern at that
Yeah.
gallery I went to, at the Goat Gallery or whatever it was at that point in time. I met her there because she was doing like space planet prints and stuff, like
Okay.
spray paint, and behind like the black would be the planet of whatever.
Yeah.
And it was super cool. So I got to meet her there. And that was about it. And then we never worked together at Postmodern. So
Oh, okay.
because I
She
came
was
in a
already
little
gone.
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I was also working only part-time Mondays and Tuesdays. So I really didn't know anybody. I was just me.
Other than Stanton.
Then there's Stanton.
He, I tell you, him and Gina Truitt,
Mm-hmm.
without them, the restaurant bar scene would not be anywhere near.
What it is?
The two of them together do you know Gina?
No, I've heard about her.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah.
She's the absolute best. That she has helped start so many. And same thing with Stanton.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. What
It
they've
is
built.
crazy. I don't even know all of Stan's history, but he's had his hands in every other
Yeah.
weird thing I can think of. Even like some history, something.
Yeah.
I don't even know, but he's all over.
What's the what do you call it? Not the brewer.
Master
Dave?
distiller
Dave?
at my place?
Yeah.
Ron.
Ron.
Mm-hmm.
The redheaded guy
Yep.
kinda.
Ron.
Why do I think his name was Dave?
He doesn't
looks-
talk, so
He looks like a Dave.
I'll tell him
tried
that.
I've bugged Stanton. I was like, I need to get the two of you on to talk about this.
Ron won't talk, but Stanton will.
Ron won't talk.
He's shy. You got to get like 6 beers in him, and then he'll talk.
I can do that.
Yeah, easy.
I can do match shot for shot with him and still be sober. So
Yeah, he's not he's not really a liquor drinker. He's really a beer. He's
okay.
Oh, what's that blue? Dale's Pale Ale is one of them.
Okay.
That's one of them that he'll drink. And then Natty's.
Jeez.
He drinks those.
He'll be a cheap guest. Good
I know,
Lord.
he's
Like,
pretty he's
okay.
Oh, and Old Style. That's his other beer.
Him and
And
him,
sometimes he just messes around. He just has a fancy beer back there in his
him,
glass.
him and Brooklyn. You may not know Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the guy who the Corner Lounge,
Yeah.
the New York
I don't know
guy.
him, but I know Corner Lounge.
Yeah. So Brooklyn was a bartender. There used to be an Old City cigar bar
Mm-hmm.
that had cigar shop and then a bar next door, and it was the greatest.
And
Like
now
the-
it's gone.
Well, they would have like bourbons and whiskeys that you couldn't get anywhere else
Yeah.
in there, or scotches, and I'm not even a big scotch person.
Yeah.
But Brooklyn worked in there. I love telling this story on him. And he got to know me because I would be in there a lot. And had my order back then, double Jack neat.
Yeah.
Like, it was super simple. I was like, it's cheap. I like it. Simple.
Yeah.
And craft beer wasn't as big a thing. And I was like, I don't want to drink a shitty Budweiser and smoke a good cigar. That's stupid. So
gotta get that Miller Lite.
High life. Then they closed down the bar part and just had the cigar part. And it was like 6 months later, and I walk into Manhattan's.
Yeah.
Which is where Jig and Reel is. And I walk in, and he's in there, and he looks at me. He was like, double Jack neat. It's like, holy shit.
I do that same thing, but I see people I like.
Yeah.
I know what you want. New fashion. Got it. Done.
And he was just, and we started
it.
talking. We became friendly. I had him on the podcast, him telling bartender stories, and it is awesome.
Ooh.
Especially,
I'm curious about a few people, but.
telling like old city back in the day bartending stories.
Oh.
They're great.
I'm also curious about
They're
that.
great. Because did you ever see Doc? Doc was the guy that worked the front door at the Jig and Reel, the guy with like a mullet, the older white-haired guy.
No.
Okay. So Doc, he looked like a 70s country singer. And we were always like, he's the security? And then finally it got to a point, it's like, he was like Special Forces. He actually was like Special Forces.
Yeah.
And if you messed with him, he could
fuck you up.
Yeah. And so Brooklyn told a story on there once about it was his first night in, and they're like, you have to get. No, it wasn't even Doc. I think it was another bartender. He's like, okay, whenever it's your first night, if we have to kick anybody out, you have to do it.
Oh.
So there was a guy, and they had to kick him out. So Brooklyn went over and started talking to him. Well, the other bartender came up behind him and started pushing Brooklyn. So Brooklyn was like a sandwich. This crazy drunk guy, his buddy, the bartender, and him. He's like,
man.
Motherfucker.
It is so hard to deal with drunk people. I'm like, I only offer water. I think they get the point after the 10th water I offer. And I'm like, here's water. You want water? You're getting water. Here is the water right now. And then they get the point. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, are you ready to cash out? You ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Just keep doing that over and over.
It's amazing. that is the biggest downside. Well, also the fiscal side of it.
Yes.
Not being able to get drunk. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Like I can, but it would take so much.
Oh, I gotcha.
My tolerance is so incredible. And I'm not a dude talking shit. I'm saying there was one night, the legendary story is one night I drank 24, somewhere around there. Old Rasputin Imperial Stouts, which are 13.4. Also, how many calories is that?
I don't know. That's like 6 Big Macs.
At the end, still stone cold sober. Like my BAC level had to be insane.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But stone cold sober.
It's just like completely fine.
Like not slurring,
operational.
Not slurring words, not anything. It was just
Yeah.
like, no, I can't feel it.
I usually can handle my liquor pretty okay, but for the most part, because I'm also on SSRIs now, it's shot. So I have to be extra careful, and I make sure just to be extra careful.
On multiple occasions, I've sat and drank an entire bottle of whiskey in one sitting.
Oh God, no,
And
never.
been
Not even in college, no.
been sober and also not had a hangover the next day.
No.
So I am broken, but because I'm broken, it sucks to be around drunk people because
Yeah, you
I
don't
can't
even.
let
You need
loose
so
and
much.
enjoy. I end up being the big brother that has to take care of the idiots.
Don't worry, I end up being DD every
Yeah.
time. It was like my birthday, and I had to be DD for my own birthday.
Oh.
Everybody was like, "Why were you DD?" And I'm like, "Because my
my
friends are so drunk. I want to be sure they're safe, so I just stopped drinking."
My friends have a speakeasy tiki bar in their house, and I took 2 of my friends there. I was like, I'll drive. And they were like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. So I sat there drinking these strong-ass tiki drinks. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were like, are you good? I was like,
Fine.
I was like, one of you fell off the damn
Do you
chair.
see how tall I am?
I was like, one of you fell off the damn stool. You sat on the stool and fell, and I had to grab your ass. My friend Marie, my lesbian friend Marie.
Oh yeah,
she sits down right next to me. I'm like, she just put her ass in my face. You better not fart. Like that's because it's like
she didn't have any beer. She's good.
It's like brother and sister with her and I. So I was like, better not fart. You're gonna fart.
Please don't.
And about the time I thought that, she'd been sitting there less than 20 seconds. She started to fall, and I had to grab her ass. I was like, "Are you really making me grab your ass?" And she's
I
like,
hope your
sorry,
sphincter
I'm
is tightly
I'm
closed.
I'm sorry. I was like, "You drunken idiot, get the hell." Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so you're working there. You're meeting more people.
Yeah.
So do you think like art is in your day-to-day life at this point? Or are you
I think
still
it's hit or
keeping it
miss.
fun?
I try not to overdo it for myself, because I feel like if I overdo it and I start to think to myself, I have to have all this art I got to post on social media all the time, it ruins it for me, because I'm like, oh, I got to be producing something at all given moments in time. And
Right.
I'd rather have like a little inkling of inspiration that's like, I want to do it today, and do it out of like the pure enjoyment of doing it, rather than like, I have to do it today because Instagram, I need to do it, that kind of thing.
Like an Inktober or a...
Oh, yeah. God, I tried Inktober last year. I did like 3 pieces
Oh.
and they were all not good. I was like, well, whatever. And there was this girl in Australia that had like incredible artwork, all pointillism, that black dot ink style. And I loved it. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want to try to do my best. And I did 3. And I was like, well, and I would like do one, I would do them like a day late.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this.
Always.
I tried. And then she wouldn't see the story that I posted till the next day. And she'd be like, what? Did you tag me in a story? And I was like, oh, I did the Inktober. I was just a day late and sorry. And she's like, oh, I'm glad you tried.
Is there, I know you said the black and white, but you said you're getting a character. Is there a media you prefer?
Right now I've been working a lot with digital because
Okay.
I have Procreate on my iPad, and I really just wanted to do, I've been seeing all those like fun pop colors and stuff, and I don't know why. Now color theory is actually interesting. I'm like, oh,
well,
fun pop colors.
Here's one way I'll fuss at you. I think you can screen record and Procreate.
Yes, you can.
To where you can
And you can post the videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know.
You don't have to think about that.
But like,
It's
what
just
if it takes me months and then I'm like, oh my God, I have 40
Time
hours of
lapse.
footage of something.
Time lapse.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. I did this D&D commission. I'm like, this took like 40 hours of my life. And I was like, should I get this video? And I was like, I don't even know
You
yet.
can see my wonderful sketches for, there's a friend of mine that is coming here in April. He does a D&D comedy show.
Oh, nice.
Called
Okay.
Catacombs and Comedians in Nashville.
Okay.
At Zany's. But he has also been taking it on the road.
Yeah.
And he's coming here. And so I have 2 ideas for posters for him. One of them is to take a die and draw it from like 5 or 6 different perspectives, but then spell out Catacombs and Comedians.
Yeah.
Because that is 19 letters.
There you go. There you go.
And then
Perfect.
I can just make a symbol or something for the
and
last
you have like a
period.
nat 20 right in the center somewhere or something like that.
And then
People
the
feel
other
lucky.
idea I had is because he likes playing up that we're in the South because he's from Southern California. I was like, I can draw the Waffle House and then make the Catacombs and Comedians in the Waffle House style. That's more of my style of flat art. Is that?
Yeah.
Because I draw an Illustrator.
Yeah.
I still draw an Illustrator by mouse pad.
Oh God, I have a friend that does that same thing. She does CSP clip paint studio. I don't know. It's free now. It's not free anymore, but they did try to make it like a Illustrator.
Yeah.
With the same capabilities, just affordable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she does the mouse only.
Yeah.
She has really shaky hands, she said, so she can't really do like the drawing.
I'm just not good at drawing by hand.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
Yeah.
I feel I will say like going from just like regular medium of like pencil, or pen with paper or even acrylic paints and stuff, and then going on your iPad, it's a whole different like ball game.
Yeah.
There's like, you got to keep in mind the pressure you're keeping on the screen with your stylus, like that's a whole thing. It's been a big learning curve for me, but I like jumping around and figuring out new things. So just like I like Incubus, they jump around their genres.
Well, that's why I was going to say. That's why I was going to say I fussed at you about the screen recording. It's because in our illustrators group, they were having the same complaint. They're like, "Well, I gotta worry about content." I was like, "You can screen record, and you don't have to think about that.
That's true.
It's just done, and you can post it, and it's like, here's my process video for this.
Yeah,
that's it. You
That's
don't have
fair.
to edit it. You don't have to do anything.
I could do that.
Easy. I'm just trying to make it easy.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to see more of in art and creativity? In general.
More of. There's so much
I'm
out
realizing
there. I don't
here
know.
at the end, I should have sent you some of these questions.
Oh, that's
Are you
fair.
gonna fuss
Yeah,
at
I
me?
could have like thought about it ahead of time. I can't tell you anything that I want to see more of, but I can tell you what I want to see less of.
Okay, what's something less than?
AI art.
Oh,
It's literally taking away jobs. It's insane. It's super beautiful and gorgeous,
Yes.
and all the details that are involved with AI art is incredible. But like, people are calling themselves artists now. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm an AI artist because I know how to type in a few adjectives. I'm like, fuck you. You could literally have the skills and have the time that you take, because I'm taking less time doing art than people in the past have ever taken time
Yeah.
to do art. Like,
so I have it on my phone on TikTok, that AI art generator where people like pose.
oh
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So I actually screen grabbed 2 of them because I was like, I like how the strokes went on this one, and on another one I was like, ooh, I like that pattern.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal both of those,
Yeah.
because this is bullshit. I was like, and I'm not gonna feel guilty
No,
about this at all.
I look at it. I would look at it more as like inspiration than anything. But I'm never gonna ever. I do not respect anybody who puts AI artists
No,
in their bio.
I will say a lot of that art.
No offense,
Some of that
big
art
offense.
is so fucking cool.
It is really cool.
Like-
Like, it's incredibly gorgeous and something like my mind would never ever comprehend.
Like somebody did like Tron, if Jodorowsky, however you pronounce his name, if he did it, and I was like, oh, I want prints of this.
Yeah.
Like, it's so amazing.
There's
Just
some cool
don't
stuff.
look at the hands. Don't look at the hands.
There's a lot of extra fingers.
Yeah. Some of it's hard because some of it is so cool, but it's gotten to a point now.
It's
Because
just
it
taking
seems to
jobs away from people who are actual artists that want to do the commissioning and
Yeah.
actually, and their artwork has been fed into the AI generators. So they see stuff that comes out in their style and they're real pissed about it because they didn't ask for that. They didn't ask for their art to
So
be thrown
I've
in.
struggled with this for years because in graphic design, so many people rip off so many other
Oh,
people.
yeah, 100%.
And there's a guy.
There's like a style that just like is consistent for a decade, then it changes, and then it's just all the same.
Although I hate the style, the newer style is shitty, and I hate it.
Hmm.
It's where it looks. Although you might like it because it looks like it's old Xerox copies where they do the weird wiggly. I was like, it doesn't communicate. That's
Yeah.
the point, is to communicate, and
Yeah.
you're not communicating, and it drives me bonkers.
You'd have to show me examples because
Yeah.
I can't visually think of it.
But there's a guy, Draplin, who's one of the most famous designers in the world, and he's a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And his style is like reinventing retro stuff, which is good.
Yeah.
And I've made this point to a lot of people. I was like, but the amount of people that just rip him off.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I've got friends that are like, yeah, but he just rips off the. I was like, he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. He takes it and modernizes it, or he makes it look better.
Yeah.
I was like, he actually works it. There are all these people now that literally it just looks like a disciple of Draplin,
Yeah.
is what I call him. I was like, oh, you've built an entire career just ripping off Draplin.
Some coworker of mine really likes a graphic artist. I forgot his name. The artist, not my coworker. I'm not gonna share it in case he's like,
Yeah.
don't use my name. I can't remember the artist's name though, and it was a lot of I felt like geometry was used, and it was flat. And
Paul Rand, Saul Bass.
Saul Bass.
Yeah.
That's who it was.
Saul Bass is the guy who did the Vertigo poster.
Yeah, he likes that guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I remember Bass because he likes fish.
I bought an album at Wild Honey. Oh, God. I bought an album at Wild Honey that I was like, this is weird. And it's a Harry Nilsson doing music for a film. They can whoever the filmmaker, but the artwork looks like a Saul Bass piece. I was like, that's why I'm buying this, because it's $10. And I like Harry Nilsson, but also this art looks like Saul Bass. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do some research
There you
to
go.
see if this is done by Saul Bass. Yeah, Saul Bass was a big one. Saul Bass, Paul Rand, those were the two biggies back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And most people know Milton Glaser, starting getting into that. But okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Not as many people rip off Saul Bass as they
I feel like
used
that's
to.
a very unique style, just based on whatever he was showing me at the time.
I think there's
to
a lot of
me-
people who can do like simple as paper cuts and completely look like they're ripping off Saul Bass. So that's kind of wild.
I wonder if I were to do graphic design, what my style would be. I think that's a big hard part of like doing art stuff. You don't really know what your style is, so you just take all the things that you really enjoy and love and put it all together to make your own.
The only problem with graphic design is so many people just only do the one thing.
That makes
Like,
sense.
I've known graphic designers. There's one firm here in town that.
You don't have to mention.
No,
I already know who they are too.
I won't mention their name, but it's the same thing on everything because it's the same 5 fonts and it's the same, like, oh, it's got this color palette and it's all exactly the fucking same.
Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah. And I know people that have come out of them that it's the same way with them. And it's like, fuck, y'all are so boring. You're just so boring.
And they don't get adventurous or anything like that.
No, but people come to them for that. That's like there was a
It's
guy,
consistency, I guess.
Yeah. There was a guy in town that used to do work that, I'm not kidding, this is back when Quark Express was a thing. Every one of his Quark Express documents had 80-something spot colors in that because he used the same 2 fonts and he used the same style for everything he did. So like 4 different companies that we did printing work for all had the exact same things in them because it was nuts. It was just like, oh, he just does the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, I
rinse,
guess
lather, repeat. Like,
for clients and stuff, I guess if you're looking for something that is just consistent like that, that's why you would do it. But again, it turns into being boring.
That's the big struggle I've had is because I am adaptive, it's been hard. I don't have a definite style.
Yeah.
So I have to show
I understand.
a weird width and breadth of work to show what I can do. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to you. Is there anyone you'd like to work with other than Jack White? Or Incubus or any of the 80 bands?
Oh my God, I'm sure. I mean, I don't. What do you?
Would you want to eventually do like music posters or album covers?
Oh, that'd be fun. I would love to do an album cover. I tried to do something for a friend kind of recently for a single that he wanted to release, but he passed away, so it's really awkward. And I'm like, well, and I'm like, do I share that? Because I'm like, I don't even know if you finished that ever. So whatever, that's fine. It's in the past. But I got to do that for him, so that was really exciting because there's a little project to do.
Did you finish your part?
I finished my part.
Then you
He
can
never
post it.
finished his song.
You can post it.
You know, I just. I don't
In
know.
memory.
I'll think about it. I
In
know.
memory.
Well, the memory, it's like now it's been like 2 years. So I'm like,
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
In memory. And
Hashtag
years later.
TBT.
Oh,
Not to get
God.
dark. Throw back dark. Yeah.
Oh boy. Anyways, I did like a little thing for him. And I tried to do it just all black and white. And it was supposed to be like a black woman with like a gun and a baby. And it was for him representing like black mothers and like the strength that they possess. And also it was at the time when like the protests and stuff were going on and stuff. So it's just a stronger black woman like has like the maternal instinct. I don't know, that whole entire like aspect and stuff.
You can also do a Pachaca poster.
Yeah.
They're looking for artists. They're always looking for artists.
Oh, well, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
On it. That would give me something to do. That's my other problem. I'm doing Chalk Walk.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
In April.
Yeah.
Which is this. I didn't realize the same weekend as Big Ears. So,
how many chalk walks have you done?
I've only done one. I drew my D&D character last year.
I saw it. I may have tagged you in it because I remember Gary told me about it, and I went and checked it out.
Yeah, there were a lot of people. I was not looking up. I was hunched over the entire time, and I made sure I had sunscreen because I'm pale. It was
you
cold.
Weren't in the shade there? Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I was in the shade, but it doesn't matter. Sun comes in contact with your skin.
Oh, my God.
It's bad for me. Unless I have sunscreen on. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it again this coming Saturday. Or not Saturday, but this coming April. I invited my other friend Laura to come with me because she's been getting into art and stuff like that. And I thought it'd be fun for us to go and do that together. Or at least next to each other.
Do you have an idea of what you...
No idea.
Okay.
I was thinking about being just like, how can I get kicked out of Chalk Walk? So I was thinking about doing Jesus in a dress reading and saying something about like drag. I don't know. I don't know.
So there's...
But that might be too touchy, so I might not do that.
Do it. There's a friend of mine that he's trying to organize a bunch of guys to dress in drag. Or is it? Fuck. I may be saying the wrong thing. A bunch of dudes to put on dresses.
Yes.
to like give out cookies and stuff in Market Square.
There you go.
And he asked me.
I'll dress like a boy, and then I will also give out cookies.
I need to tell him that. It can be the opposite, too.
It absolutely can be.
And I said... I
don't have no binder, but like I can get a suit. I'm ready.
I said I would do it, and then I backed out today. I was like... I was like, I think I'm just too self-conscious and chicken shit. I was like, but I will happily come and support.
Yeah.
Take photos and video.
Yeah.
Because I know how to do that. And I'll also be a big guy support in case you have any problems.
And invite some, femme folks and have them dress
I was like, it's just me. It's just
fine.
somebody who grew up fat who's like, I don't want to be in a dress because I don't.
Gotcha.
I was like, I got too much body shame.
It's an insecurity thing.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I was like, I'm chicken shit. I was like, I'm will.
Well, if, you can also look at it as like these people might not ever see me again ever.
Yeah, I know too many people. I'll probably a lot of people.
See, you just gotta do a little better with the makeup, and then we'll know.
The beer. Well, one of the things I've always wanted to do is get a seamstress to make a Cruise Farm girl dress.
There you go.
And me dress as a Cruise Farm girl.
Yeah.
I think Halloween.
That'd be fun.
I think Halloween I would feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But for some reason, just randomly having to park in the garage.
It's a cosplay. You're just LARPing.
I know.
It's all good. Like
I don't like standing out in a crowd.
That's fair. I understand that.
Yeah. Anyway.
I try to talk myself out of that whenever I do ridiculous, goofy things. I'm like, let me wear my Heelys today. I don't know. I always feel like weird doing that as a 29-year-old. But it's fun.
No.
And you get to feel like it's fun to do. You're never going to really do it again. I mean,
plenty of jackassery.
Yeah.
But it's just, it feels like when it goes on a little too long, it's like, that's the point where I'm like,
oh, I gotcha.
All right, I got to go.
Yeah.
I've got these cards that say, yes, I am tall. That when anytime anybody mentions that I'm tall, I just reach in my wallet and hand them a card.
There you go.
And it says
I would hate that. I'd have to have that.
It says something like, well, aren't you observant? Yes, I am tall. And I've given over 500 of those cards out in like 7 or 8 years.
Makes sense.
That's how often I get bugged about it.
Do you know Smo? No. Okay.
Maybe by face.
Maybe. Okay. I'll show you later. I will.
Yeah. I know Bear, although it's funny that the Cocaine Bear ad just came out. I know Bear who works the door at Clancy's.
Okay.
And only because he has forced that we are going to be friends because we're both giant dudes with big beards.
Okay. Well, I know another guy who is also very tall. And I was like, maybe you two know each other. All the tall guys have to have a club, right?
Well, Bear is the best because this is the stuff I can get behind.
Yeah.
There was one time I walked up and I was chit-chatting with him. I was going to show at the Bijou. I'm just talking to him. It's like a Friday night. And we're sitting there talking. He's like, what are you into? I was like, I'm going. He's like, man, it's going to be a good show. And, yeah. And then these 3 young women walk up and start showing. I was like, I'm going to get out of your hair. He's like, and he literally, no, it gets better. He's like, all right, man. Have fun. I love you. Like that. And those 3 girls just looked up and were like, what the just happened? And I just started giggling. And then when I came back by later, I was on the opposite side of the street with a date.
Yeah.
And he started going, blowing kisses at me. That's the stuff I can get behind.
That's funny.
I was like, because I'm just walking
that.
away. Yeah.
So supportive.
Yeah. Anyone you'd actually like to work with? We kind of glossed over that.
Oh, yeah. I haven't really thought about it.
But musicians. Anybody else? Like another artist?
I mean, like if somebody were just to walk up to me and be like, hey, let's collaborate, I'd be like, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much open to anybody being like, let's collaborate on like some musical thing or some artist thing, because I would just have a lot of fun and make a new friend. So
okay,
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't have like a specific person. I'm like, oh my god, before I die, I have to do art with this person. It's just kind of like
Gerard Way.
No, I like MCR. I'm not a big like. Sorry to MCR fans. I'm sure they're all like, oh my god.
Do you know the first? I've only heard one MCR song.
I know the I'm the young boy, my father. Oh
God! Shit. I know 2 songs. I'm sorry, I know 2 songs. They did a cover of
I know Desolation Row too. Yes.
From Watchmen.
Yeah.
But What is that song called? It's that song.
The March. Oh
Well, I
no,
am a young boy.
my emo side is not there.
And it's funny because on TikTok they'll say,
No.
you know how you make a person at this age cry, and they just played the first piano.
Do,
Yeah.
do, do,
Or they just did the
do,
first
do,
one. They're
do.
like,
I know the song.
so do you know that he is cousins with Joe Rogan?
I did not know that.
That is hilarious to me that they're cousins. But I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan.
Yeah.
And Kevin Smith was in like a very depressed point, and he's really into hockey.
Yeah.
And
Hockey is great, I will
Okay.
say. I've only gone to 2 games, but I liked both.
So one of my buddies, he just had a birthday, and I was like, I got you a gift, but I'm also giving you an experience because he's never been to a hockey game.
Yeah.
And the last time we hung out, Sean Pointner, cigars, he was like, I wouldn't mind going to a hockey game.
Isn't tomorrow a hockey game?
Yeah, I think so, but I can't. You're going to go?
Yes, I got to remember.
So I'm going to tell, it's like, I'm going to pay for tickets. I'm trying to figure out if we want to sit up or sit. I like sitting behind the boards. I like sitting behind the net.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of fun to sit back there.
Yeah.
Because they come at you so fast and they slam into the boards.
Oh, that is fun, yeah.
That's a lot of fun. Actually sitting up
I like
and
a little
watching the
wrestling.
whole thing, it's fun.
Little tickle fights on the ice field.
But Kevin Smith was depressed, and he started watching this hockey video, and they used that song, The Black Parade.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
The Black Parade. And they
God.
started using it, and he was just like, I couldn't stop watching it because it fit it so perfectly.
Yeah.
And so then he became friends with Gerard Way because
Aw.
of that.
That's funny.
And it's just like so wild that I was like, oh yeah, that's the only way I know any of their songs is because of Kevin Smith talking
I'm a
about-
really bad emo millennial because I only know maybe 2 or 3 songs from MCR, but I wanted to go see them because I know they're a good time and all my friends really enjoy them, so I would go to enjoy with them.
So the other day I went back and listened. I was like, man, I've not listened to the Deftones in a while.
Oh.
And I love the Deftones.
Yeah.
So I went back and listened to White Pony, and I like just reading Wikipedia pages.
I understand that.
So I read the entire Wikipedia, and it was like, this was criticized for how violent it was. And I was reading it before I listened to it. I was like, violent? It's Deftones. They're awesome. Like,
Yeah.
And then I listened to the album. I was like, holy shit, this album is gruesome. And then I was texting my buddy. I was like, what was wrong with us? We were listening to this and Slipknot and Manson and all this
fine.
stuff talking about dismembering people. And
Yeah.
it was like,
Oh, man.
and it was just what we were jamming driving down the road.
You don't really think about it. I loved The Cure growing up. I didn't realize, a lot of their songs were super depressing. I was like,
yeah.
what joyful music.
Yeah.
Whee! Friday.
Yeah.
So exciting. Or
Yeah.
like Aphex Twin was another one I listened
Oh,
to
yeah.
in 6th grade. Don't know why. I was like, I got to branch out from Jack White. Aphex Twin, let's go. And it was like Come to Daddy. And it was just such weird stuff. But I loved it.
Soul.
Yeah. And it was like, come to Daddy, it's Daddy.
You mentioned a band earlier. Not the Chemical Brothers, not the Dust Brothers.
Oh, the Crystal Method.
The Crystal Method. You know where Amelia is in Market Square?
Yes.
So that used to be Lad 235,
Okay.
which before that was World Grotto, and there was an underground area, and they played
Oh, what?
in like mid-aughts.
Oh,
At World Grotto, I was like, this seems small
that
for
would be
them.
so fun.
This seems so small for them.
That is really
Yeah.
if that's just that space, yeah, that would be really
I think
small.
it was a Crystal. It was one of those is like,
Like a weird 90s
Really? Like-
electronic
or
techno.
they just seem bigger than that.
Oh,
And I was
right,
like-
yeah.
I was like, what?
Firestarter is a huge song, I think.
That was Prodigy.
Oh, that's the Prodigy. Oh, fuck. Oh my god.
That's amazing.
I'm sad now.
No, you're
No, okay, I do
you're
love the Crystal
29.
Method.
I'm,
and I like the
was alive
Prodigy.
when all that shit was. Sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, I like both of them no matter what. I just can't believe I got them confused.
So there used to be a show on MTV called Amp that played all that stuff, and I have the soundtrack to Amp in there.
Oh,
It
nice.
has Fatboy Slim, Dust
I
Brothers,
love that boy
Chemical Brothers, Aphex, all of them.
Yes, I love
And it used to be, and they would do
What
these
is that music? Is that just 90s music?
electronica
Okay.
kind of.
I like that music. I don't know what it is. Sorry, the Prodigy is also fantastic. I just got confused. I was like, oh, wait a second. I thought
What is
Crystal
it?
Method was bigger though too, because they were playing out in Vegas when I was like a kid.
And they were on soundtracks, and I
yeah,
think
and they
did-
were on music videos as
Yeah.
a kid. for me.
I'm trying to think. The hell was that Prodigy? Prodigy did, the albums that were big in the 90s.
Yeah.
But then they had an album in like the late aughts that was really good.
I don't remember.
That I liked. The cover is very colorful. That's how I kind of remember it.
Yeah.
That it was just like, holy shit, this is actually a good album. Amazon, when Amazon Music first launched, they would do daily deals where you could buy a digital album for like anywhere from 99 cents to $2.99.
Oh.
So during that, I bought tons of albums of just stuff. I was like, this is like the cost of a song.
Yeah, that's
I'm
crazy.
going to buy it just to find. I would do that at Best Buy too. Back in the late 90s, early aughts, they would sell CDs like this. Somebody on the Rise, and it would be something for like $5.99.
Oh yeah, they keep it pretty cheap.
Or $6.99. That's how I found.
I was really into CDs.
That's how I got into a bunch of like the new metal stuff, like Project 86, which turned out to be a Christian band. I didn't know, and they were really
just
good.
like Flyleaf. No one knew. I'm so sick.
Okay. Do you set goals or a checklist?
Do I set goals? Yeah. So I have internal goals. I don't have like dates for those goals because whenever I think of goals, I think of scheduling something and having dates for things because I do that with the gym, but I don't do that with art. So with goals in terms of art and artistic things, I try to like work on something that I don't touch. So like right now I'm really trying to work on foreshortening with human bodies because you can see like a really cool action shot of a fist and it goes up the arm, up to the face and the body and all that, and you can see that the body is a little bit smaller than the arm. And I don't know what it is about that. It just looks so intense and it looks like a comic book literally. But I don't know how people like are able to like fathom that shape in their head because in my head, while I can be very visual, it's when it comes to the human body, I'm like, what? Where did the knuckles go? Why is the nose weird again?
That's what kills me about seeing my friends who went to art school and watching them just start doing the circles and the lines, and then it's like 30 seconds later and they have a fully drawn person. I'm
like, I don't know how they do that.
Son of a bitch.
I with that figure art class or the figure drawings on Wednesdays and stuff, like I saw people trying to measure with their pencil body parts, and I was like, what are they doing? Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
So when I was doing it, I would just like, here are the feet and here's how far apart they are, and I draw a little line up where the legs are, and I'm like, here's how far apart these legs are. So like other people had these like cool techniques and just had a whole human body, and I was like, what is this? And here I am, I'm trying to go through that process. So like in terms of goals, I'm like, okay, here's like one thing I want to focus and like really nail as much as I can. I mean, it's still, I'm trying to nail too many things at once. I'm like, oh, digital drawing, which I'm not. That's tough. Then like the perspective drawing, so understanding perspective with human bodies in relation to other shapes. Also a whole nother thing that teacher who was really into color theory did not teach me. Maybe if I took another class, maybe we would have gotten into that. But I didn't get into that. So I'm just like trying to figure out like what are the coolest ways like you can come up with like. Right now, I really like starting from like the bottom of somebody's body, where like not that I like feet, but just starting at the feet up to the leg and everything like that. I had to really specify not the feet thing, but it's cool. It's a cool perspective. It's a cool perspective to look up at somebody like that, like a small ant.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just trying to practice all that, and I guess there's not like a set timeline for it. It's just kind of experimenting and trying new things. And
even without a set time limit, do you know like in 10 years, like where you would like to be? Like, would you want to be doing art full time? Or do you like keeping it
I like keeping it a hobby. I think for a full-time job, I feel like it would just kill the passion because I was really into like photography and videography, and once I made it my job, it sucked. Yeah. It really drained everything that I enjoyed about it out. So I was like, this sucks. I'm not going to do this anymore. But going into the art and like realizing my like limits and stuff, such as like doing a market is really hard because you have to market yourself. Right. And I am not.
You have to promote the shit out of it.
I'm like, I just wave at people. I'm like, hi. And then I'm like, I feel bad. And then I feel like nobody's coming to talk to me. But it's because I get shy because there's so many strangers at once. But at the bar, I feel comfortable because I'm like, oh, I've been here many times before. Right. This is my stage. But at a market, I'm like, hello.
The market's so weird, though.
They are. It's really like,
'Cause it's just people strolling.
yeah, it is. And also, I don't want to look like I'm struggling either.
Yeah.
And I also want to I want to make friends, but I can't leave the booth. I got to sit right there. And I'd rather just like go to a market and go meet the artists there and say hello and talk to them that way and like share information or something. I don't know. Because I don't want to sell my stuff like that. It feels weird to do that.
I'm going to teach you a word.
Okay.
Voluntold.
Okay.
So here's what you do. You set up at the punk rock flea market and you voluntold your husband to watch the booth for an hour while you go meet the other artists.
So I did a partner sort of thing with my friend Laura. We did a booth together at the punk rock flea market. But that was where I was realizing this is an overwhelming and overstimulating thing for me. Like, and I also don't know how to be like, check out my art, because I'm like, you can just look at it, and if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Most of the other artists don't know how to do that. I know a lot of them. Most of them don't know how to do that.
Yeah, so. It's weird, and it's also like weird to push yourself. So I just don't. So I'm like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's it.
Yeah,
there's like one of two ways it goes.
That's a healthy way to look at it, though.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna like everything I do. I'm gonna be doing a bunch of weird shit all the time.
Yeah,
especially fan art now. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with that.
Okay.
I made a Tumblr. I'm figuring it out.
Okay. I'm still so a little behind the scenes, but I'm trying to think how to say this. I think you sat here and you know me well enough to know that I'm not coming from this in a creepy way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not you. I'm talking about somebody else. But the woman, the dating
yeah.
Because I know she'll never listen to this. She was talking to me about something, and she has like all these crazy health bills.
Yeah.
She has some kind of health issue. And she and I were talking. She was like, I can't get a job because I'm about to have another surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about stuff. And then she said something and she mentioned OF.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually mentioned the feet thing because I was like, she was like, yeah, I would do it, but my mom would be really bummed. And I was like, you don't have to show your face.
Yeah, you don't have to show anything.
And I was kind of going through. I was like, because a woman that I dated actually asked me for marketing help to market her OF.
It's not hard.
Well,
it is now. It's oversaturated.
So
that
what I
market
told
is
her was,
saturated.
but what I told the person I dated, I said, I'm a dude who right swiped on you. I'm your target audience. I was like,
sure, I can help you with marketing.
I was like, I can help you. And I ended up giving her all these ideas. She's like, holy shit. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. And then with this woman I was chatting with today, I was like, why are you not? It's like, I was like, you can do it. I was like, if you're worried about your mom,
oh yeah,
do a Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because she writes poetry and does music.
There's also Ko-Fi or Ko-Fi, K-O-F-I.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is, but
I was like, if you need a front to know where you're getting money, I was like,
yeah.
Also, you don't have to show your face.
Yeah.
I was like, if you need, I was like, I literally have pages of notes.
Yeah.
Where I research the shit out of it. I will just send that to you. And if you want ideas, I'll just give you ideas.
Yeah.
I was like, I've sat down with so many people with Patreon and been like, here's what you ought to do.
Yeah.
And just talked them through like marketing and ideas. And it was the same thing with her. It was like, when I'm relating all this back to the flea market thing or the market thing is like,
right.
Any way that you can make money that you're not having to go into a job that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I am here to support you doing that thing.
Yeah.
So that's what with her, with you, with anybody, I'm like, I just want you to be doing something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
That you're not having to be angry about going into work.
Right.
You work for Stanton.
Yeah.
It's got to not be fun dealing with drunk people, but that's also got to be a pretty like.
It's pretty easy.
Well, no, I was going to say nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they're like, I say, and all my other coworkers are all different. I say I'm cool with both managers over there, so that's why I've stayed as long as I have. I'm only part time and everything, working on weekends, but I'll pick up shifts here and there, whatever. And it's fun again, meeting people. It's like the time I get to socialize, really,
right? Because
I only have a few friends. I'm very picky, very picky.
If you're wanting to keep it just being for fun, I won't push you with my ideas for.
Yeah,
Patreon. I'm telling you, Patreon. But
I know,
it's same thing.
I have I have two separate art things now because I have one and I'm like, well, maybe I'll do like a fan art thing, but I only have like 15 followers right now. And I'm like,
okay, that's
whatever.
the Tumblr one.
it's Tumblr. I made a new Twitter account too,
Okay.
and I was like, I'm gonna go unhinged, and then I did nothing except like reshare other people's cat pictures. So
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm gonna use cuss words on this account,
Oh,
and I
God.
haven't done that at all.
So I've got a Patreon that is sitting there that I have not launched yet because I am. What is it? The cobbler's kids have no shoes.
Yes.
Shit, what is it? The contractor's house is always in disrepair. Like I'm good at
Yes.
telling other people.
Oh,
This
right.
is
You
how
can't
you
do the
should-
thing for yourself that
Yeah.
you give other people advice for.
I've got
Yes.
a second podcast that's a movie podcast, interviewing people about their favorite films.
Okay.
I've recorded 20-something episodes, but I want to do bonus episodes for the Patreon.
Yeah.
And that I know is going to take time and effort, and I have not been in a place where I've been ready to give up that time and effort.
I understand.
So it's sitting there, but because I've done so much research and I also back so many Patreons, I was like, oh, I know a shit ton about this.
Yeah, and
If
then
you
you're
need
like,
help,
I gotta
yeah.
do it for myself.
Yeah. Well, it's
But-
like with this woman, I was like, you make music, you write poems, you do art.
Yeah.
Those are three things you can charge people $3 a month.
Yep.
And you write a poem on a postcard,
And send it to them.
send that to them.
Get them a sticker even. Like the
Super
stickers are pretty
easy.
easy and cheap at least.
Yeah.
And put that
Yeah.
in. You got a little gift box for them and
Yeah.
they get a little thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
You pay your medical bills, damn it, because I want her to pay your medical bills.
Yeah, those will definitely add up, and it sucks when you're in that position too.
Yeah.
You can't work and you can't get any other income any other way. I have a few friends that are like that too.
Yeah.
It sucks.
But again, I'm the hype man, the ever hype man of like, let's do
Do
this.
it.
Let's get it. Okay. We'll finally end in hour 7 of this. If you could talk to the 14-year-old version of yourself,
Oh.
what would you tell them?
Oh. Thanks for sticking around.
Okay.
Oh. No, it's too sad.
No, that's an honest.
I'm glad she's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good one.
Yeah. She's
And it can
here.
end sad. That's fine.
But yeah.
There's I here I'll again because I'll have to make it about me. Here you go. So in my graduating class at Fulton, there were somewhere between 103 and 108 of us.
Yeah.
We have figured out at our 20-year high school reunion that 3/4 are dead, in jail, or have done jail time. So when we met up the other night at Barley's upstairs, even though I didn't have I should have had a damn Long Island iced tea. For all time's sake. But when we were joking about like, we're all that's left.
Yeah.
There's like 19 of us.
Oh, it gets
And
worse.
We were talking about like, for our 30th, we should literally rent a cabin on the beach somewhere.
You'll have enough people.
Because no kids. I'm not. Everybody has kids but me. Some of them have like 7 kids.
No.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like,
God.
I was like, we actually probably should do that. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because there's so few of us alive.
Yeah.
So I totally understand that, I have to go back and talk to kids at Fulton. And I'm like, hey, you can make it out of here.
Yeah.
I know I look like big goofy white dude. And I am big goofy white dude. But I also made it through here.
Yeah.
And if I made it through here, then you can make it through here.
Yeah.
And so that's a real answer.
Yeah. It's tough, but you get through it. So.
Yeah.
And then you find the things that you just kind of enjoy that make things a little brighter.
Yeah.
That's the best you can really do.
Yeah.
Especially in high school. God, it's tough.
Oh,
And middle school. Middle schoolers are so fucking
yeah.
mean.
Middle school was.
I don't even know what's going on in their brains half the time, but I'm like, they were so mean.
There was one of my cousins you're going to find this funny. 2 of my cousins are extremely small.
Yeah.
Like they're really skinny. Like one of them finally grew to be over 6 feet tall. Hey, now he may not even be 6, but they were both just really skinny, really tiny kids.
I
And
understand.
One of them was having a really hard time in high school. And so he lives in Michigan. When they came down, I had a talk with him. I was like, hey, here's the thing, dude. Duck your head and get through it.
Yeah.
Because high school doesn't mean shit.
No,
You're
not at all.
leave high school, and it's not gonna. You don't have to see any of those people ever again.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? They're shitty to you. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
And the people who glorify their high school days say a lot about their personality. That
I
they
hate to
never
say it. I
grow.
talk a lot about my high school days, but I think
That's a different way of reflecting on it. It's not like, look at me, I was like the big
No.
superstar, popular person.
No.
You know, that's a whole different.
No, it was. I saw a gun on my first day.
Yeah, so that's a whole different kind of like aspect of high school. Different memories.
Although it is funny, there's a guy at work that played baseball at UT.
Yeah.
So anytime I talk about playing ball, I'm like, I just played competitive in high school. I didn't play on your level. I was like, maybe I should not talk about that. It taught me a lot of things. A lot of things I talk about are like lessons I learned in going through adversary. Did I say that word right?
Anniversary?
Adversity.
Adversity. Okay.
Adversity.
I was like, anniversaries?
No, not anniversary.
We're
adversity
celebrating.
or
the bullying.
like playing sports or even working at Taco Bell. All the lessons you learn, everything's just building blocks.
That's true. It is.
Here, I'll leave you with, I won't tell you the sad part. I'll just tell you the good part. Okay?
Okay.
When my grandfather was very tough. Like, he just looked scary.
Yeah.
He's a 6'2" guy who was born like 1918.
Yeah.
His dad had like 5 or 7 wives and had like 20-something kids. So my grandfather was somewhere in there. And him and his brother, his younger brother, were really tough kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were hell raisers. And then they went off and fought in the roughest of the rough in the Pacific in World War II. Actually, you can see a photo of him right there. And his flag. And his up above, behind the red Christmas ribbon, and it's March, are the medals that he was awarded when he fought in the Pacific in World War II. So he was very tough, and I was always scared of him.
Yeah.
Got into college. I was wearing a Taco Bell, brag, but I wasn't getting treated properly. And so the only other opportunity I could find was at Walmart. But it was going to be a harder schedule because I went to Pellissippi and I had to drive all the way back to East Town.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, and I went up there and I don't know why I started talking to him. But I sat down and I was just like, my grandmother wasn't there, Granny.
Yeah.
So I sat there and started talking to him, Papa. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, I'm not getting treated right here, but but this is going to be harder. And, I'm just rambling and going on. I don't know why I'm talking to him about this.
Because you're stressed and you can't help it.
And I'm just unloading.
Yeah.
So I get done and he just looks at me and goes, "Are you happy?" And I was like, "What? What?" And he was like, "Are you happy?" I was like, "No." And he was like, "Then quit. Life's too short to be unhappy."
Yeah.
And he got up and walked down to the basement. He was done.
Yeah.
Like, dropped the mic. He was done.
It's
and
true.
I think about that almost daily.
Yeah.
Life is too short to be unhappy.
Yeah, for sure. You got to find the little things that bring you joy here and there. Plus, like right now, look at life. We have all this information and access to information. Yeah. It's, of course, going to make us depressed.
Well, but on
no
the
matter
flip side, you can do anything you want because YouTube exists. There was I saw some video on TikTok of some older guy that was like in his 50s or 60s, like repairing a tractor or a truck or something. And his daughter walked up and said, "So did you know about all this, growing up?" He's like, "Hell no, YouTube." And then he went back to work. Yep. And I was like, "Hell yeah, man." I was like, we have YouTube, man.
Yeah.
This is both the greatest and the worst time in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm clinging on to this is where we'll actually show up and shine.
Yeah.
That's my hope. I hope.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Thank you for being on.
Yeah.
Thank you for, I don't know why I'm pointing at you.
Pointing.
Thank you for doing 18 hours.
Yeah, of course.
We're about to
hours?
get hour 18.
Okay.
Let's go to the board to see how much money's been raised on the telephone.
Oh, $0. Oh.
Oh, shucks.
PBS. I feel like it's a pledge month. Oh, God. I hope Gary doesn't listen.
You just cut it on the PBS.
Oh.
All right. Thank you for being on.
Yes, thank you.